Getting set for the latest inflation print here. We join you a little bit early to get you prepared. A few seconds to go here before we get December CPI. Remember, we are looking for basically in line across the board. There is a forecast or consensus is looking for a slight uptick on both the month-over-month number and the overall inflation rate. 0.2 expected to the upside, 0.3 on the month-over-month number. There it is, 0.3 exactly. A little bit higher on the month-over-month number, 0.3 versus 0.2, 0.34. The headline number, 3.9% for core CPI year over year for December, 3.4%. On the headline number there versus 3.2. So back to the upside right across the board, it would appear. 3.1 was the forecast. So that's a bit of a miss there for the year over year number. 0.2 expected on the month over month. It comes out 0.3. Core inflation rate year over year, 3.9% versus 3.9 expected. So looks like we are getting a bit of a tick higher as far as inflation is concerned. Big move down for the futures as a result. Both the S&P and the NASDAQ just went red, back to positive here on a bit of a bounce overall for the market. We'll get into Bitcoin, obviously. We'll talk about this GBTC. We'll talk about all these ETFs. Let's jump over to Neil and Sean here. Guys, you in on this?
I tried. I was in a small break in Palantir at the 17 level. I just got out at 99 when it went, so if it was going to go in my favor, fine. If it was not going to, I'm going to get out at 99. I'm not going to chase this one, I don't think, but I'm going to cancel some AMD. Nvidia broke back through 550. I think that was an opportunity in there. AMD broke the 49 area, but again, I'm not going to chase this move. I thought if you could get it. If I could get something pulling back, I like the 150. If I could get that pulling back, it would have been nice. But the NASDAQ just wicked.
Oh, my God.
We had just wicked those highs overnight, and then you're breaking the 17,000 level down. So we got to watch out for 16.8, obviously, here today. That was a little bit hotter than expected. I heard a lot of analysts say that when you're listening anyways, that it would have to be crazy in either direction to be a big effect. I don't know that that's crazy, but it's still a little hot. We'll want to see what the actual breakdown is, like with regards to housing and all that good stuff. But
oh my
yeah,
God.
I don't want to. Oh, should have. You know what? The crazy thing is, if I had just chased AMD, it wouldn't have mattered.
Oh, that's what I was. I tried to short the TQs there. There was relief. Right when we went over to Brendan, the market did rally. Remember, Brendan was like, oh, the market's rallying. And then I was looking right at this level here on the NASDAQ. If we can come over here, Fabian, yeah, great. I thought we could get back up into the 200 period there. I was waiting at 50.25, no word of a lie. It went to 50.24. But, you know, the name that I like here falling down, and I don't know if London Bridge is falling down or not, but you don't have... Like it's 16.9. We're not even down that much. So it's like, I don't, looking at the NASDAQ right here, sure, it was a hot number. We knew that would be a bad thing, but you're not even anywhere near, you know, thinking about where there could be some support. Like if you're really going to fall down, 16.8 maybe is where we stop. But like, this is just covering kind of where we were yesterday. Like we started yesterday, right? And then you just bounced off that 16.9. So yeah. I feel like it's bad enough to shake out weak hands here, but I don't think it's bad enough to get this market in trouble.
Oh, and one quick note for anyone looking at these Bitcoin ETFs, I'm just gonna. It's not a warning. It's just it is what it is. The volume is tight on those Bitcoin ETFs. I made a kind of a watch list so you can see, but not all the ones I expected to be quoting are. And the best volume by far was, I don't know, there it is, IBIT. So that's going to be BlackRock's and GBTC, the only ones doing any volume out of the ones I'm tracking. And there's not a ton of liquidity on these names. But, I mean, obviously this wasn't necessarily, it's not a huge number down. I didn't want to chase it, but it's probably enough that I might look for some shorts on stocks that have failed where I like them at least. So, you know, that's why I mentioned AMD failing that 150. Palantir actually holding 16.9, so that could always come back into play at the 17 level. So as always, you don't want to necessarily react to the first move by chasing it. Let it settle down. As we come back into 17,000, I think that's going to be a big key. If it turns around there are some names I'd look short.
All right. If you missed it or just joining a little bit late here, let's recap. 0.3% on the core number month over month. 3.9 is in line with the forecast for the core. December CPI number. It's this one that's the problem. The headline inflation rate, 3.4%. Versus a 3.1% expectation or forecast there for the month of December. So across the board, seeing downside movement as we saw there for the overall market. This not helping either. We also got initial jobless claims there for last week, 202,000 versus 209 expected there. So that's downside in a pretty big way. 1.83 million on the continuing claims versus 1.85 million. And the consensus 1.87 million. So again, signaling maybe some underlying strength still remains not only in the job market, but clearly in the overall economy here. So a lot to consider this morning. You and I were joking before we came on here saying, you know, the CPI number has the potential to maybe steal the headline here away from this Bitcoin news today.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a little confused as to why the headline number is still high, because we've seen energy prices pull back. And so the only thing here for the headline number to keep it elevated is food price. So I want to dig a little deeper into some of these numbers later once we get the data to see what's keeping us elevated. With respect to the job numbers, I don't think it's that bad. Personally, I wouldn't want to see a big correction in the job market because we've been trying to stick that soft landing for a long time. And you're not going to stick that soft landing with a huge drop or a huge increase, actually, in unemployment claims, Brenda. So.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, we've had numbers in the past, CPI numbers in the past that have come out, you know, 0.1, 0.2 at the most, the wrong direction or in line with expectations for the most part across the board. This is the first time that we've seen, you know, like a full 0.3% miss to the upside. So the market reacting accordingly here, guys. But as you were saying, not a lot of action so far for some of these BTC ETFs either.
No, look, the reason I brought that up just in case anyone was looking at those ETFs. I don't think you expect crazy price action on those. I mean, Bitcoin's going to move, and even then, I don't know that there's going to be those are the best trading vehicles necessarily for it, and it's early on, so we'll have a look to see how they go. I just wanted to point out that if you're looking at them, it is BlackRock that was doing the most volume. That's pretty much the only thing. We've come all the way back. I mean, pretty much all the way back. Like Palantir's back at that 17. I'm gonna kick myself because in the morning mix I was like, yeah, if the 17 break doesn't go, look at pre-market levels to the downside. Post-market and close levels for the dip buy in PLTR. That's exactly where it went to. But you know, I was looking over at AMD at that particular time to see if there's a fade on the way back in here. So the market did make a nice bounce. I do have this one on the brain if it can hold that 17. But the only other trade, at least for now, the only other trades I'm looking at are potential fades on weak names on the way back in. That sets up something like AMD. That sets up something that I felt we've kind of been looking shorts on a firm. Well, I can cancel this, whatever. When the number came out, I thought I'd be really cheeky. I had a level 2 up on a firm, so I just kind of hit offer enter and thought I'd get lucky. I didn't get lucky. If I cross down, maybe you have a chance. But if this gets back into the pre-market highs, I might want to take a shot. Like, we're still underneath that 17,000. So weak names, I want to look for some shorts.
Yeah, firm, yeah.
I don't know about, I don't know that I'm at the point that I want to short things that I wasn't thinking about shorting before. That's the best way to put it.
We almost had this Stream Deck not working. Okay, Stream Deck not working. All right, so Google, we went long at 142. It's too bad I'm just working on the sticky note right now, and it has Google 142 on there. We went long at 30s, though. It did dip in exactly into 142. We took the long. It went up about 90 cents or so in the money. Let's see if Google continues to work. Look, that number sucked. But at the same time, you know, we've already talked about where we're going and where we're coming from, right? I mean, it could fade the rest of the day. Let's see if that's true. But I mean, when you're looking at the NASDAQ, I still think that 16.9 seems pretty strong to me up here. And then if we dip in, the 200 periods right down here at 16,750 and then 16,800. I mean, this has been a great level. It was good back in December. It was good back as we enter into Christmas. Then we held it when we broke lower, held it when we came back, held it again. And now we get that negative news coming back in a little bit here. So let's just try to be careful. Let the real money come into this market. That's going to happen around I was going to say not around 9:30, maybe like 9:15-ish. We'll see some numbers come through, and then we'll trade it from there. But I mean, I'm I'm not overly worried. Everybody's waiting for dip buy opportunities. There's so much money even on the sidelines, and you know, everyone's like, oh my God, the market was so bad in the first 3 or 4 days, because it was. We were talking about all these names. The Mag 7 was down 5%, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, are you gonna get a 5% dip in these names? That's what people are waiting for. And maybe this starts it for the next couple of days. We'll see. I think there's still support, and I feel like it's still buy the dips. The Fed, we'll see what they have to say in their meeting, but this number, not great.
You know what?
Because what I had bear from yesterday. But
I've left it because my whole thing is I needed to see a big reason. I didn't think I felt that yesterday. I know we were shorting some stocks yesterday, obviously, but I just didn't feel overall that the trend of the market had changed. I mean, failing the 17,000 on that number,
right?
Like that's enough to have me looking short first. It doesn't mean I want to give up the notion of some longs.
I'm still on the bid everywhere.
There's a bunch of strong stocks out there, man. Like the 50 periods and 200 period moving averages on quality stocks were holding like wildfire in the last little bit. AMD, as I said before, that failed the 150. I'm going to look to short that in front of the 149. But the list of names, like Apple that held on to, let's look at some daily charts, man. Like Apple that held on to its 200 period at 180. Like you're up at 186. Like after bouncing, it'll load in a second. Trust me when I tell you, the 200 period's essentially supposed to load in right around 180, exactly where it bounced. There it goes. So I think it had a chance to get to the top of the 50 period at 188, but we were still at 86. Like you're actually at near the top of the move. Still, that's not that much of a pullback. As a matter of fact, this is where we were drawing the afternoon support on Apple. Like why wasn't it? Hindsight is going to be 2020. But like I drew this line because of where the stock bounced yesterday in the afternoon, and obviously at 8:30 Apple's not the stock I was looking at, but look at that, it goes right into afternoon support and bounces nicely. That's why you look at things like that, to be honest with you. But I was looking at Affirm and AMD to look for shorts. Like I wasn't really thinking buy the dip. I was like, where can I short something into the move?
It's
GDP.
It's going to be a coin flip overall. Sharif and I are just talking about what's to come. Here's why. March Fed rate tool, 59.5% now, back to 59.5% for the quarter point. If you add these two together, we're still around 60% in favor of a cut coming up after that number this morning in March. But January locked in now. There it is. January locked in now, 97.5% chance that nothing's going to happen in January as far as interest rates are concerned. I was just saying, you know, what's the hurry at this point if, you know, we're still seeing some underlying signs of upward momentum for CPI?
What was the last GDP print, like 5.1?
Exactly. I mean, the final print was 4.8, I think it was, or 4.6, but that last preliminary, you're right, it was 5.3. So, I mean, the economy is still incredibly strong.
Yeah, super strong. And then another part of that is the jobs market, which is continuing to be strong. So what would be the reason for the Fed to say, let me take my foot off the gas and hit the brake here? I don't see a particular reason. We'll see if maybe it gets kicked down the road to June. Yeah.
We'll see how the market reacts to this. Quickly, some housekeeping for everyone. So we use a website that's called MailerLite for our watch list every single morning. And that gets sent out to anyone who signs up to it. This is actually what MailerLite looks like right now. So we apologize, but MailerLite apparently will be back soon. So as soon as they are back, we will be able to send out the watch list this morning. So again, our apologies. Not much we can do on that, but technical issues, yeah.
But it's on the website, guys. So,
yes.
Trader TV, watchlist.tradertv.live. It's there. It's posted. Adara did it this morning, just not in your inbox.
Yeah. So as I said, as soon as we have access, you'll get access to the watch list.
Oh, Pittsburgh's no problem.
Rahim Alani is in the building, and we're happy to have him. He'll be taking up very, very soon, talking about some of these crypto ETFs. So that should be a lot of fun. And by the way, as we get ready for Rahim, I mean, I don't know. I looked around. I was like, oh man, I get like some of this FOMO here. Cardano right now up 20%. So, I mean, some of these coins really starting to go. Polkadot up 21%, Polygon 15. You know, and then obviously with the anticipation as Ethereum hitting all-time highs, or what is the all-time high for this? I'm gonna have to look that up. But anyways, higher and higher and higher goes Ethereum right now. Let's do this together. Let's see the max feel like, yeah, all-time highs. I was gonna say, I feel like the max was 5,000, 4,000. I actually didn't realize, I would have guessed it was 4,800. I thought maybe into the 4,000 area, but yeah, definitely taking out these levels, taking out $2,000. It's been a great move, and the thing is with Ethereum, everybody now guessing that this is the next one, right? I mean, apparently the paperwork is in, and they're gonna look for this to happen in the summer. So it's the Bitcoin ETFs today, and you know, like, congratulations, anybody riding that bull through out there. That thing is so gangster. But here it is, man. It's this 23 breaking through to 25. Let's see how high we can go up there. And of course, Bitcoin, as it continues to move around right now today, we know its all-time high is in and around 66 to 68,000. We've got that only at 47 right now. But what a great move upside here in BTC over the last little while. What is that very high? This is the most gangster charts as well. This is 47.5. Looks like we just hit. I'm just using CoinGecko because that's where I have that portfolio on. But anyways, nice movement there. As you can see, big volume, nice move, 49% market cap dominance. I mean, this is why we get that approval, right? I mean, we're talking about the cryptoverse there. 50% of it is Bitcoin alone. And there's the all-time high, 69. So wow. This is going to be about, I like how it says that, about 2 years ago, November 10th, 2021. All-time highs.
That's weird.
We can get back there, man.
I've never seen sites to put about 2 years. Why would you say about? Like, you know when?
Why won't they just say, like, yeah, 26 months ago or whatever it was?
All-time highs? We'll see. I think we probably stall shy of it. Like, you had the chart up. I think we usually rally until, like, the next gigantic peak on the weekly. That's usually going to be the bit of the case. So I just wanted to quickly point out, I was going to get to Mara in a second because the market's coming back up here, but I did want to acknowledge if you're still trading, well, I mean, you're still trading things like Mara and Coinbase. It's not like the ETFs are doing any volume, so if you're on them before, you're probably still on them today. This is pulling right back in. It gapped up. It's pulling right back in, all gravity to this $27 level. And I just wanted to point this one out, although it should be obvious to everybody. Remember that high, the fake tweet high, and then yesterday's top being basically the same thing. So lo and behold, same top there again on Mara. If there is a breakout in the stock, it's still got a short interest. I still think there could be at least some kind of a trim of things like this. So I would look at that high and want to respect it, but we still have 45 minutes to go until the open. So getting ahead of ourselves, but Mara, just because the ETFs are out there, it doesn't mean that this isn't going to still be tradable. I mean, it's done 4 million in volume in the pre-market. All of the ETFs combined have probably done a few 100,000 shares. So as a trading vehicle, this is still pretty solid.
All right, Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Group, is back with us this morning for a talk on crypto, and we'll get into some of the details here as far as what everyone needs to know on the fee side, on the structure side, on how these could possibly trade. But we want to start off with what's available on this side of the border because, hey, we were first. So when it comes to Bitcoin specifically, ETFs, GBTC. What is it? BTCC.B, and then there's BTCC. But tell us about the purpose ETFs here in Toronto.
Yeah, no, I think the fact that Canada does get to say we were first, and the Winklevosses will take exception to that, but we were first here in Canada with those, and we do have a smattering of ETFs available, and Purpose is the biggest one at just over $1 billion, 1.3 billion, so about $1 billion US. They do have a 1% fee, and they've been doing this for a while, so they are the biggest one out there. And they do have an Ether offering, a few others as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Kathy Wood on I think it was Bloomberg yesterday talking about the fact that this opens the door to not only Ethereum being up next, but maybe even more than just Ethereum on the ETF side.
Yeah, no, I think that, and you're seeing that today. If you are an active crypto trader, you are seeing that Ether has popped up since the news yesterday because people just sort of assume one begets another. Now, you know, the fact that the SEC has allowed this, they've outrightly said we're not condoning crypto as a commodity, but it is something that we are now allowing the ETFs to do. So I do think ETFs will pick up onto the Ether side next.
All right, where do you want to go next here? Let's talk maybe GBTC. This is why I was mentioning that GBTC, because as far as the fee structure goes, and we've been saying this past couple of days, GBTC definitely not the same, to say the least, as the rest.
Yeah, one is not like the other. The difference is GBTC has been the home for people in the equities markets that want to go and get some sort of outside access to not just the commodity directly, but in a way to get it outside. So, and they have done well. I mean, they're 28 billion in assets under management. So when you've got that kind of size and scale, you do get to say, we're not going to be like the others, and I get to charge a 1.5% fee relative to everybody else. Because again, at the same time, a lot of these ETFs, like Purpose as an example, is a 1% fee. So that is sort of the standard sort of gate on these things, a 1.5. So maybe that's why GBTC is saying, we are biggest in breed, so we're just going to keep to our fees.
Yeah.
But on the other ones, as you've seen, everyone's just come out and said fire sale on fees, right? And we can go through all of those.
Get some volume, yeah.
Yeah, just to get that action going, because again, the biggest one out there is GBTC. So I think people will start to pick into that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the simple fact that because this is coming from the OTC, there's a lot of people already involved with this. So we're seeing that, translate in volume. BlackRock doing, I mean, it's there or thereabouts as far as volume is concerned. The BlackRock one, IBIT, top of the list this morning as well.
Yeah.
Tell us about that one.
BlackRock's going to be, again, they're one of the first ones that came out, and they were sort of the first, if I use my horse racing analogies, they came out of the gate strongest. They were right close to the rail, and they were running it. So they came out and said, we're going to bring out the lowest fees out there. So they started at 30 bips, and they've just announced that they're just on Monday, I believe, that they're going to go down to 25 bips. So everybody else has sort of had to catch up and follow.
All right, the other name brand, I guess, or noticeable name brand is going to be, as we were just saying, Cathie Wood on TV talking about this a few minutes ago anyways.
Yep.
Let's talk about hers, because ARC-B on the NYSE ARCA exchange, I mean, in our book, hasn't started trading yet.
Yeah, no, it hasn't started trading yet, but she came out and said, or they came out and said, 25 bips down to 21. And I feel like it's a bit of a real estate market. For the first 6 months, no fees. First 6 months, $1 billion, whatever comes first, they've got no fees going. So again, you're seeing, if you go down the smattering of all the names that are out there, they've all sort of got one of those elements. They've knocked their fees down from 25 to 21, 29 to 25. For the first X number of months or X hundreds of millions of dollars, we're going to put on a 0% fee.
Yeah. Maybe we can touch, I mean, there's so many of these. I wanted to touch on Van Eck as well, if you had that one on your list, just because the ticker's great, HODL, HODL. As far as trading versus, an investment instrument here, obviously volume is what we look at for the trading side of things, but maybe your thoughts on, as far as investment instruments here, what this is going to mean.
Yeah, no, I think for most investors that are out there, obviously the trade is important, and which one will be active and which one will have the most AUM, which will allow you the flexibility to get in and out of your position. And then you want to look at the fees, right? So again, like I said, some of these funds have come, ETFs, have come all the way down to quarter bip, less than a quarter bip. And then you want to look at, to be quite frank, the gentleman that runs the Van Eck digital side was on one of the other channels the other day that I might have had on the screen, and he was talking about the same thing. He was saying, like, we are breed and we get brand recognition, so that's who you want to come to us to put your money away. So to be honest, it just depends on A, your preference on the fees, B, do you care about brand or not care about brand, and then C, your ability to get in and out of your positions.
All right, quickly here, I was just hearing Burr. Yeah, has started trading as well. So Burr is the Valkyrie.
Yeah, it's the Valkyrie one.
ETF. So that
49 bips, and they're going 0 for the first 3 months.
Not a lot of volume there. 9,000 shares so far this morning. Just went. I don't know if that price action is even correct, but $20 straight down to 14.
The sentiment has been that a lot of the action was already priced in on the institutional side.
Yeah.
Institutions have been playing on these names for quite a while. So now this is the time for retail to come in, and everyone thought today is going to be like that big Black Friday shopping, or Boxing Day, or whatever you want to call it, where everyone goes shopping. So it'll be interesting to see how many people come online and what happens, and where the price action goes on those.
It was Valkyrie that was actually the first coming out. I think it was Tuesday this week. they announced their liquidity or market makers and liquidity providers for this ETF, but not a heck of a lot as far as volume or even in the book right now for this BRRR, and that's going to be a bit of a challenge.
We're still early.
Yeah, I mean, it's market's not even open. So, but we want to touch on cannabis here real quick just to wrap up.
Yeah.
We're getting into earnings once again. We've had a few already. So, give us your thoughts on the overall cannabis sector.
It's going to be a political issue. All the things that we've been saying for over a long period of time, and it's going to be the one that is coming next week, next month, and again, we've been saying the same thing. But again, this will be a political issue. The U.S. is going to lead the way. Tilray just announced their Q2 24 numbers day before yesterday. Stock moved on that action. They do have a lot of cash in the bank, and they will be using it both on their beverage side and on their actual cannabis side. And they are looking at the U.S. as a place to be. Canopy just announced day before yesterday, they're doing a $30 million financing, so it's a big number for them. And again, same thing, they're saying that that's going to be spent on all of their U.S. assets and products.
So funding's still an issue,
It's not the 200, 300 million that they used to get.
Right.
So it is a little bit of a tougher time. And they are doing this financing at 429 US, which is slightly lower than where we are, but they put away $30 million US. So there is still some monies available in the cannabis world.
Going into an election year, it's going to be interesting, as you said, to see how these headlines and see how this topic plays out south of the border. That being said, in your opinion, is the environment changing in the right direction here once again to what we saw maybe, 2018, 2019 going into the pandemic?
I think, again, we've been talking about the cannabis trade for quite a while, and it has gone state by state by state by state, and states are getting more active, and there is, all the legislation that's coming in to move it from a different schedule. So there are sort of baby steps happening all in the right direction. Now, again, whether it will all come under the tailwind of election federal, there is enough other stuff in the U.S. that they're probably going to be talking about, including what we're talking about today with the cryptocurrencies, and will that be a validated currency to do things in the world? So I don't know if it's going to be as dominant an electoral issue as we thought it was, in the last
4
election.
years ago. Yeah.
And will it become a federal thing? It's tough to say. And I think, once the political leaders for each party are identified, they'll probably start to make some rhetoric around that. But each state is doing its thing, and the multi-state operators, like we talked about, are continuing to expand and continuing to acquire, continuing to open.
We should touch on banks maybe, getting into earnings season maybe the next time. Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups. Once again, good to see you. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. As always, Rahim, fantastic info. We love him as a guest. You guys all love him as well. And that's right, we had him first here, those ETFs.
That's right.
But just a cautionary note on some of these. And I'm only saying it again because everybody just saw the chart of Burr, their Van X ETF. Like those were actual prints that went off, and I hope forever from whomever actually bought shares up at 20. Again, I hope for their sake that that gets broken, because clearly, something was amiss there for anyone that took fills up in that price. So, anyways, there wasn't even a move in Bitcoin to justify what happened with the Van Eck, but it's done only a few thousand shares worth of volume. These are not doing a ton of volume. I don't think this is a place where you want to start throwing around. My first thought was, whichever one is doing the best volume, maybe think about stink bidding and liquidity vacuums, but the only one that even has enough volume to consider that, as we said, is going to be BlackRock's. Looks like the short got away from me on AMD. Wow, AMD's absolutely tanking. Affirm didn't have the liquidity. So look, Affirm didn't have the liquidity to try to get shorts up here. The spread right now is 20 cents. The spread up here was 30 cents. So there wasn't Affirm's a great stock to trade, but in the pre-market, it's not like you can trade the Qs, you can trade the triple Qs, you can trade the Magnificent Seven in the pre-markets, you can trade things like Intel. There's lots of names that you can get regular liquidity on. Affirm just isn't one of them. So I was probably looking in the wrong place, trying to snag a short in Affirm. That was just not going to happen unless you just cross the spread and pay that, few percentage points or whatever it works out being to get that short. But the market is looking a little bit sick here.
I was mentioning yesterday that I thought Affirm was turning into my favorite stock. I'm glad we're both looking at it here today, and I wasn't before, so that's a good thing that you mentioned it. I'm still going to put an offer up here near 45. I don't think it will get anywhere near there, but if it does, it does. I just took some Palantir long as well. The interesting thing that I took from, I take a lot of interesting things from Raheem when he's here, but the biggest takeaway, sometimes, the biggest takeaway, standing right here. The biggest takeaway for me was, I think it's really interesting to have the zero fee that Raheem mentioned there. I think that's pretty cool. I feel like that's a great way to drum up business. I want to say, congratulations to everybody watching the show, because I think that's a huge point. Although it's not a small, half a BIP or 0.3, or we talked about what some of the fees were going to be on some of these lower ones. It's just nice to know that potentially, the names that we mentioned, the ARC B, the Cathie Wood name, that might have more liquidity in it because of this fee structure, and therefore you may feel a little safer in some of these names. We are talking about it. We've been sort of lucky enough to been able to throw some of our money in our TFSA accounts in Canadian dollars into those purpose and Galaxy ETFs and whatnot. And now I feel good about it again, because now when I'm trading out of Nvidia or whatever, and I have some US money, I can drop it into some of these ETFs. And I do love the tailwind of the Ether ETF as well. I'm going to talk. We have the podcast. Yeah, we have the podcast tonight. Me and Neil will be talking throughout the show. I think Bitcoin does have a big runway to all-time highs, and let's just see if that continues. Hey, he's back in the building. It's Randy, my guy. How come when the weather gets bad, you come in? Like, the weather was so good the last couple of days.
It was nice. Yeah.
He's got on his toque. He's got his toque on inside.
You buying any of these Bitcoin ETFs?
No, I remember I asked him last week.
I had to ask. I don't know. I had to ask.
And I see.
Didn't have to.
Oh, early coffee was just put in the chat by Neil. Wow, Neil, was it a late night? What, you need another coffee?
No,
here?
I just finished this one.
Yeah, this says, I'm still waiting to plug in the OB heater. Is it?
It's
like it's good, but not.
You, it's great.
I know.
I have not used.
I know.
You guys watch every single day. I talk about how great it is to have this coffee heater because it's fantastic. I want to make a point about
I have the request
thing, by the way.
Yeah, go.
I think it's genius to go zero fee so that you can bump them up later, because that's probably what's going to end up happening. Just understand, charging nothing is something that is near and dear to the hearts of Trader TV Live, because we do this free for you guys every single day. Just understand that we're not going to pull that gambit where, it's free and then eventually, no, we're going to move off YouTube and start charging.
Yeah. Give us at least a couple months to do that.
Yeah, we'll take our time. But I do think that's what's going to happen. I think it's smart business to keep it down for a while, get the interest up there, and then you can bump the fees up. Because all anyone was talking about with the grayscale was the fact that their fees are going to initially be the worst on the board.
Yeah. No, it's a smart move. All right, back to the desk with the two handsome gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into everything else you need to know here at 9 o'clock this morning. Sharif going to lead things off. Good to have him back with a look at the futures.
48.38, Brendo. That's where we topped off last night. That takes us to that critical resistance level that we got to the end of the year. We were right at that level, rejected this morning off that CPI print. Let's look for support at 4,800. We touched 48.02 ever so briefly, back into that 48.10 area at resistance. Brendo, let's look at yesterday's close. 48.20.
All right, this is typically where I put up that watch list graphic, but I won't even give them credit this morning because Mailer Lite having some technical issues. We apologize, guys. As soon as we have access, we will get it out to you. But yeah, Mailer Lite is down, and it's apparently a site-wide thing, quote-unquote, major issues. So that's the reason you have not received the watch list today. But we will go through the rundown anyways, guys. You can throw that up. And we'll get going. Obviously, we have to talk about these crypto stocks to kick things off here. And it's going to be more about volume, I think, and the ability to trade. As we said, ARC B hasn't even started trading yet. When Raheem was on here, I was just mentioning Valkyrie just starting to get going. So I think it's going to be one of those things that picks up throughout the day.
Yeah, we'll have to watch the volume on these, Brendo, as the day goes on. But, I was talking to Fabian off camera and Neil as well, saying, well, is it time to possibly start building a position in Ethereum? Because now that's next on the list, possibly for a spot ETF approval. And we saw exactly what happened when news broke about the Bitcoin spot ETF possibly getting approval, and it, built up the position over time. And then the event was not a sell the news event. It was just like, okay, well, it's here. So possibly another move with Ethereum.
Yeah, the other thing we're going to have to consider, I think, maybe for the next few days, if not maybe even a week or so, is price action is not going to be anywhere near, what it should be. Like IBIT up way more right now, the BlackRock ETF, than GBTC. So IBIT at about 600,000, GBTC about 500,000 at this point. So what do we do here, guys? Is there a trade at all?
Thank you very much, Randy. Sean, just stepped up for a minute. We were just talking a little football, but like in terms of a trade on these, I've said this to a couple of traders. I'm going to be watching Bitcoin very specifically, so that if there is a big move, and I'm just talking about like an outsized move, I'm going to look for opportunities where one of these things goes like maybe too far one direction. Like that's the only trade I'm interested in on the
Bitcoin is going nuts right now.
Like, it is. Well, when I say an outsized move, like I want like a liquidity level event. Like you are breaking toward highs here. But I think based on liquidity, you're still trading whatever it was that you were trading before, because liquidity is not that good. Like it's not like I'm going to go in and hit the bid of IBIT to express a move like on a 47,000. Like you're moving like hundreds of dollars on 47,000, but like IBIT's priced at 27. So like the spread is going to be crucial on that. Like liquidity is not that great. Like you got to go down sometimes like significantly before you can find a bid. So we are getting right into these tops, 47.8. If we do the nice little consolidation and then break out from there, I still think Mara at that 27.70 is going to stand alone. I'm just not at the point. Like I'm not at the point where I am comfortable when I look at the level 2 on IBIT. Do I still have that one up? Yeah, when I'm looking at this, like that's the first time I've actually even seen a decent sized bid in this move up. That 3,000 shares. I haven't seen any of that on the way up. Like it's generally been like thin. I don't know that that's where you want to express your trade. So I'll probably sound like a broken record. But if something stupid happens and one of those goes a few too many percentage points, I think that's where I'd want to look. You're up 6% on Mara here. I think this can be a good trading vehicle, especially, I hate to say it, but especially if there's a reversal. If there's a reversal, I think this is one of the ones you want to be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin right now starting to go. I went long into Palantir again, and if you are looking, obviously we do have. I think Sharif nailed it with the website. You can go to the website to get our watch list. You can also go get the morning mix. You can also go get the sticky note right now that is out as well. And we have Coinbase on here. We also have Palantir long 660. We just went long at 6666 there. No, yeah, well, 1666.
Oh, you did.
6666. And right now we're in the money about a dime piece here. We love dime pieces around here, so we're gonna make sure that we take some out of that one. All right, but now Coinbase. Yeah, I think it's great. I don't know. I was bearish on this name all yesterday, but then I kind of like was reading some stuff and I thought about it, and it's like, you know what? If all of these ETFs are going to be using Coinbase to acquire said coins, then yeah, I feel like it's great for brand recognition. It's great for being sort of the portal for crypto. And as we get more acceptance in the space, there's not too many places to go. There's Mara, there's Riot, there's going to be Bitcoin miners. But like when we're thinking about exchanges, Binance has issues, obviously. We've seen FTX come and go. We've seen a lot of these different things happen in the space. And now we get Coinbase that apparently the regulators, I mean, let's wait to see. We had Kevin O'Leary on here saying that Gensler was going to reject these. Yeah. He didn't. And now maybe they turn around a little bit and favor Coinbase to some extent. So I like Coinbase on dips, and I like it taking out. I wrote down here, very, very good chance we take out that 161.50, which is the high that we're looking for on those daily charts. It's at 158 right now. Like you said, as more and more of these become tradable and they start to get assets under management, they're going to have to buy Bitcoin to offset.
Don't have a choice.
I go in and buy ARKB. Kathy Wood then has to buy $5 worth of Bitcoin, you know, whatever the amount of money you put in there.
You literally can't even buy $5. Well,
can you buy $5? You can buy $5.
Well, I mean,
can I buy 10?
You can, but you're not.
Can we buy a Starbucks? Anyways, I think it's a good move for Coinbase, and I think it goes higher from here. Plus, don't forget about the short float. It's still 14%. I mean, there's still a short float here in Coinbase, and especially people, like I was saying, that took the other side of the trade, that maybe it was not going to get accepted, that maybe Coinbase plummets on that. So.
I think that's what's happening in Mara. Like, to me, Mara's up 7% mostly because of the short float. It's got over 20% short. And if that takes out highs, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, more upside right now, in fact, for Bitcoin, just hearing. So we'll come back to that, I'm sure, throughout the day, obviously. But let's talk about Google here. This came late last night. Layoffs right across the board for their AI side of things. There was some coming out of search as well, I was reading yesterday, for the job cuts. But I mean, Google has been one of the strongest out of the big tech names the past couple of days here. I mean, we've been focusing on the chips, rightfully so, and Nvidia specifically, but Alphabet with a nice week so far.
Yeah, and Fitbit, Brendo, as well, getting a little bit of a haircut here. You'll recall that Google acquired Fitbit for $2.1 billion in 2021, and some of the co-founders, James Park and Eric Friedman, are also going to be leaving the company. Last year, Google said basically they were looking to eliminate 12,000 jobs, ended up cutting a little bit less than anticipated, Brendo, in 2023.
Yeah, back to highs essentially yesterday, or recent highs anyways, for Google. We'll see how today goes, guys.
Google's already on my watch here. I think that Google taking out 52-week highs, boom, bang. It's just play the momentum. We keep talking about that all the time. We've been talking about it on the podcast. What's going to work in 2023? Hey, what's going on? 2024. And it was just the same stories are going to continue to work, right? Names that are taking out 52-week highs. Why are they doing it? You know, you have to think about that kind of stuff. I love Google right now, a new improvement in the AI. We talked about that. That's, again, it's on the watch list. You can go find it. We also have the cost-cutting initiatives there in Google. And I'm just looking at this 142. I don't know if this is going to be support or not, to be honest with you. It's not like it's a huge level or anything. The last top we had was at 142. We broke through it. That's what made that recent high at 143. And right now in the pre-market, we took out 52-week highs and then came right back in again. So I love names at even dollar levels. We talked about this yesterday with the Fibonacci princess. I was going to laugh when I had to say that. Tammy, I'll just use her name, Tammy. Key levels. Yeah, maybe use Fibonacci princess. Okay. Anyways, down here. Oh, she said she made a new sort of acronym, GTFO. Get the funds out. Get your funds out when you're starting to hit key levels. I thought that was pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah, all right, let's shout out Fibonacci princess.
Especially because it just gives us an excuse to be able to say GTFO.
Yeah, exactly.
And then no one can claim that we're saying anything bad.
And anybody that was watching it, thank you so much. We had a record number of viewers last night, over 3,500 at one point. And that was later on in the show, so that was really nice. The idea here is that key levels. We talked about Nvidia hitting that 550. We'll talk about that. AMD in and around that 150, now making the move off of that level. Now you have Google with good news, bouncing over that 140, breaking 52-week highs on cost-cutting, efficiency news, AI improvements. I like the catalysts. I like the levels. We going long on Google today, baby.
Yeah, I can never look at a daily chart that has a look like this and see a double top that's breaking. I cannot think of a short in a stock like that. Like it almost has to fail a level under. So like it's got to be, if it's not trading under 142, I don't want any part, because it has to fail that high. I'm not even sure I'd like the short until it's underneath 141 and maybe 141. Like it just needs to really be failing that top. You're right up there. I think I'd only look long. Given I'm not a huge fan of going against the grain after an early number. Yeah, so like my first thought was to try and get some fades before 9:30. That never really came into play. So, this one, you closed at 142 quarter. The even dollar is 142. You also have great support down here. Like I said, that 141 half zone. Maybe you have to be under 140 before you give it up. But 141 half stands out there. There's a lot of good dip buy zones. The trend's down. I think there's a chance to be able to pick this up. But just like Uber or Amazon or Nvidia or any of the stocks that have been running, if it holds this level and starts stair-stepping up, you cannot be afraid to take the next level and just find the next entry point. If this ends up being the bottom at 142, I do not mind longs off the 143 level if that's what sets up at 930. It just doesn't matter. Just play the trend because the trend is your friend. Back to the desk, because let's talk about Nvidia in that 550, which is pretty much here.
Never heard of it. What is it? Nvidia? Okay.
Yeah, what a week it's been for semiconductors right across the board. Nvidia back to all-time highs. Again, not only yesterday, but pre-market here this morning before this number anyways, back above 550. Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, it's worth noting, but yeah, coming out this morning, increasing their internally held portfolio weights in Disney, Nvidia, Medtronic, and Deere. They also cut a little bit from Tesla. And also, what was the other one we were talking about? Oh, Berkshire was the other one that they reduced. So, I mean, Tesla getting hit here pretty hard as far as what everything else is doing, coming off the CPI number down 1.4%. But adding to Nvidia, selling a bit of Tesla.
The story keeps getting better and better for Nvidia. Indian data center Yoda coming out today saying they're going to buy 16,000 of Nvidia's AI H100 and GH200 chips by next March, Brendo. That is worth about $500 million just from one company. So the orders coming in fast and furious.
Yeah, so strong all week. Again, there hasn't been much the past couple of days. I think they did all the announcements at CES early on in the week, and then we've had other things coming through throughout the actual week. But what a week, guys, for chips.
I was actually also reading the JP Morgan Health Conference there. People were all talking all about AI and chips and improving all the platforms there at various healthcare centers and hospitals and whatnot, and practitioner. Like this is just the beginning of AI. And honestly, I don't want to say it's the beginning of Nvidia because Nvidia is up 300% or whatever, but the name just continues to work. And I wrote down here on the sticky note as well, like you need a negative catalyst for this thing to go down. And the only thing that I could see that would be anything like that would just be the market. Like I can't think of a story right now until we get to earnings, which it's just the movement in the stock. I feel like just like these banks, and we're going to we'll talk about the banks in a minute. And this is why I said this at the beginning of the week. I feel like the banks are a fade. They're not a long at these levels. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But also Nvidia, it's just all the way up here, up into 550. You've just run your course, man. You were 480 4 days ago. And now it's just like pop, pop, pop. These H chips are going to go. Everyone's going to buy them. We understand all of that. And there's something about chasing, and I just don't know if I want to buy these tops. We may eventually do that. The last couple days on Nvidia, it's been a completely different story, man. We were buying dips. We waited for VWAP dips. We waited for those. We had this yesterday at 541 long, remember? And then we shorted at the end of the day, took 2 points, and then it still ripped up at the end into the pre-market. Like, we shorted this level back down there. We just have to wait for levels. There's going to be trades long and short. Yesterday, you could have shorted 545. We did that. We also went long down here at 541 until it broke, and you guys saw me trade it at the afternoon. Nvidia turned out to be my number 2 stock overall yesterday, and we didn't trade it till 2 o'clock. So the thing about it is, stay calm, stay patient, right? If I wrote down 540 because I wasn't sure if the sky was falling on that CPI number, which obviously nothing, pretty much Nvidia just goes CPI, that's a nice story. So it bounced off to 200 at 546. So long story short, if you're really aggressive on this name, you probably want to buy this dip right there. 546, 547. I'm not that guy today. I'm going to wait to see if we get something into this little pillow down here where I will rest my head as well. 544 into 542 down to 540. I like it. We've got Palantir. That's a spinner right now. We've got Google's 50 cents in the money. The longs seem to be working out.
Yeah, it's starting to bounce nicely. Look, if you look at this weekly chart, like, where would you think the stock is headed to? We consolidated, Nvidia consolidated. I say we, like I own the stock, but a lot of people do, so that's fine. 400 to 500 from right there in the middle of the year till the end of the year. You spent half a year in the same consolidation zone that we're breaking out of. Is it really only going to go $50 when you've got another month and a half until earnings? I don't think this is a stock. It has to do something to tell you it's not a long anymore. Anyways, that's a weekly chart, so we're not gonna. We don't trade. Day traders don't trade off weekly charts, but that's just the idea. So you get support at the 540 level. To me, longs aren't wrong until you get underneath that. Previous top, and then long consolidation the entirety of the day in that range. So I like that for a bit of a bottom there. 45 is more of the high, so that would be like if it had wicked this one at 830, like that would have been more of a play, but I think the support today for me is going to be down there. So it's got to get there. All it has to do is get down there, and we'll be into it. You're going to probably see me in and out of this TGA and being bought $5.10 for cash. It's just a buyout.
All right, Netflix, 23 million on the ad-supported tier. Average cost going to differ throughout, what country you're in, but I was actually kind of expecting that to be higher as far as what the number is currently, because I feel like just going back a couple of months ago, we got that number and it was around the 15, 16 mark. So just going up to 23 seems, I mean, it's good, but I would have expected it to be a little bit higher.
Yeah, slowly but surely they're building up that ad tier, Brendo, which is the more profitable tier for them. In fact, 85% of those 23 million users are watching 2 hours or more per day. The more they watch, the more Netflix makes. It's completely different than the structure of the non-ad tier accounts. Add to that, Warner Brothers and Discovery Paramount getting a downgrade today from, let's see who that was, Redburn. Redburn downgrading them today, saying that Netflix just eating the cake here, Brendo.
Yeah, that watch time number, I think actually a little bit more impressive right across the board. I wish I had 2 hours a day to watch Netflix.
That'd be nice.
492, guys, day highs right now.
Come on, you got that 2 hours. I mean,
Oh yeah, everyone has 2 hours.
Sharif just told me what's my new workout show is apparently this captain's. It's about like a 2020 World Cup captains being interviewed. And he said it's interesting. So when I'm working out, I tend to put on Netflix because I don't like listening to music. I find it distracting. I watch things that I just think, I can have on in the background. I like doing it. But Netflix 500, I don't know, like, you tell me. The 500 level, I don't know if we get there today, but it looks pretty big. It looks fantastic. You have the 495, which is a bit of a lower high that can play into it. But this has been on a great churn. No questions asked. The other thing to consider here, now remember, the market broke lows. I'm going to just show you in this fashion. The market broke support and then bounced off of the next support level down and is bouncing back to the upside. You broke the highs on the way back here. So sometimes relative strength is hard to see. Other times relative strength is easy to see. Netflix taking out tops when the market is just trying to regain them. If we get above 17,000 today, I can't see why Netflix wouldn't be breaking the 500 level. So as long as we're holding on to 16.9, Netflix looks like a long. You got to break out. I like breakout prices on retracements. We like even dollars, which on expensive stocks sometimes means the $5 levels for Netflix. And only because it's the time that you talk about Disney, usually when we talk about another streamer, relative strength, relative weakness. Disney is up on the day, but it is still right here. It's not really breaking away from this 89.90 area. At some point, there is going to be a major move on Disney away from it. The trend is very slowly down. It's currently underneath the 250 and the 200 period moving averages, barely. My gut's telling me this could be one of the names to fade on a pop. It's just that, yeah, I mean, if the market continues to rally, I'll be looking to short Affirm and Intel, and I actually even kind of like AMD still. So I don't know that I would get to this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still pretty. I have volume down here. I mean, these charts keep changing on me. Okay, so I was talking about this chart down here. I don't need this volume. Anyways, Disney down here at 89 bucks. I think it's well worth a look, man. I don't really trade Netflix. Spread's a little too big. If I'm going to trade something like that, I mean, I'm going to be looking at more aggressive names today, like a Coinbase or something. But still, Netflix, good name to trade. I like it, hitting those highs, man. It's already won the streaming wars. It's over with. Look at this, $89 to the downside. Right now, I feel like you got to watch out for that to hold here. It's at 89.50, right? Nice little spread in the name right now. We'll see if it comes back in, but just watch out for that level right there. We bounced off of it yesterday. Why can't we just do that same move again? Nice little fall off the open. Watch out for an 89 long there on Disney. There isn't much to say about this name. It's really been disappointing, right? I mean, failed off the 50 there, broke it. Oh man, it's not looking good. This chart actually looks really bad, and I don't think the long in Disney is very good and or smart at this point until we get back above that 50-period moving average. I am long Disney, so that's what makes me most upset with this stock. But we'll see. I mean, I'm long a lot of names. We'll see if this one will work at some point, but it's got to get above 90 bucks. And when it does that, then I think it's a win. We are going to get out of some Palantir here. We just got some out at 78. I do have an offer at 80, and then we'll see about getting it higher through here. So Palantir right now, sticky note on that one, and also on this Google long at 142. Nothing else is hit yet. Quick check-in on Coinbase, see the temperature here. Still in and around this 158. So right now we'll wait for Coinbase, still bouncing around 4%. See if we get some dips into 150 for coin.
Just checking on this. SPEC moving around this morning, announcing a partnership with MLab and MOSOLF. So a deal there for that SPEC moving around once again. Let's talk about the banks here. Going into tomorrow again, pre-market tomorrow, we're going to get a bunch of them coming through with earnings to, I guess, officially kick off earnings season once again. Citigroup downside this morning, revealing this, $1.7 billion worth of a hit to come through the FDIC. If you remember when we had all that medium-sized and smaller banking issues going back to the beginning of the year, the government came out with this. So Citigroup announcing a charge they're going to take of $1.7 billion and pointing directly to this federal deposit insurance.
Yeah, 880 million of that, Brendo, is basically a currency charge off the Argentinian peso that they're taking a hit on. The other 780 million charges tied to CEO Jane Fraser's corporate simplification project. I don't know if $750 million counts as simplification, Brendo, but that's a look here. We'll have to see more details when they release their earnings tomorrow morning.
Yeah, maybe a sign of things to come, unfortunately. But yeah, it was downside after the close yesterday, guys, for Citigroup when that came out. But here we are, back to 52-ish for Citi.
Yeah, the one I'm actually looking at was BAC, and that's just because it had the level. The last time I was trading the banks, it was BAC, that's all. And it was the 34 level that I liked. And it failed the 34 level. You'll see the big breakouts on the 5th, early in the year, and then failing it the next day, lower high. I'm probably throwing that one out the window. I don't know if we can get back there again. I'm not even sure we can get back to the pre-market high, which I've marked off, and that's going to be about 33.75 here. But I do want to be fading them. There is a chance at a flat bottom break, punching the lows at the open, which has had mixed results, hitting lows in this market. Not going to lie to you, like punching longs at the tops has worked. You know, you're getting some good trades off the open, but the only ones that would have been fantastic were yesterday in like Intel and Micron. But a lot of times hitting that bid on through the low of the day at the open has not worked out well. So I'm not, if we're underneath 33.25 and you hold down here, I'll look for some shorts. Otherwise, it's like a short to pop situation. I might as well just throw an offer up here because I'm going to like it on BAC. So I'm just going to get something up in the 60s. I would have been already waiting for 34s on the CPI number, but it just never happened. Like the market went down, not up, so you have to adjust.
Look, I've been talking about some bank weakness now just for a couple days heading into earnings. I don't know if they're going to be going up or down on their earnings report. I have no idea what they're going to report here. I just look at the technicals, right? I mean, here we go. JP Morgan is all the way back up to these tops that we've bounced our head across a couple different times. If they don't report well, it's going to fall back in. It's just it's at 2 times price to book. It's well extended at these levels. I mean, this is what this is a weekly chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyways. 15 straight weeks or something straight to the upside. I mean, that's monstrous. So this just continues to go. Well, we can just find out how many weeks from here. Yeah, from the beginning of November, right? So straight up to the upside, 10 weeks, nothing but love for JP Morgan. I just worry about when you run into the report, let's see where it comes. Jamie Dimon, like in my, the last time I've see this guy talk, I mean, he was talking about how there's a tsunami of economic, like, death coming and all this kind of stuff, like just badness, darkness, Neil, as we say around here. Darkness is coming into the market, and now all of a sudden the stock goes up. Yeah, Sharif and Patrick over there clapping as well. I appreciate it, but it's just like, I don't know. it's like, let's just take them for their word and see what their report brings. And I just feel like it's top heavy. I feel like the risk is to the downside. And I also feel like spinning this right now as well, because Google is now $1 in the money. As the market just starts ripping back up to the upside right now, there's Google. Look at that, man. We wrote down 142. Too bad that didn't happen in the clean market, because then you would actually have real shares. Let's see if Google continues to go to the upside. It's a nice win early for $1. What?
Huh?
Yeah, I saw it right here. Fabian over there, the little crypto head, wanted me to say that Bitcoin's nearing 48,000, and on some exchanges it breaks. On Binance it does not yet, but right there it's a nice move up. We'll see what happens right here for crypto, but yeah, looks like it is starting to touch out on that 48,000. I can drop this down to a 1-minute chart just to get a little bit of a better look. Yeah, so we're right here. It's topping out at 47,888 right now. There it goes, man. Nice little $1,000 move there, like that bottom 47, almost straight up over the last hour or so, or half hour on Bitcoin, man. They're getting all ramped up, guys. Here we go.
Here we go. All
yeah,
right.
I also have it at the bottom right of my screen as well. So right down here, we'll have it showing you guys through the day. But yeah, I guess we got to get ready to go here, Neil, with Coinbase.
We have less than 1 minute to go, which is a little bit wild. We'll talk about Mara. You mentioned Coinbase. Guess what's not at the highs? Mara is not at that high. So I guess a little bit of relative weakness in this particular name. At 27.7, there you go. It's almost a triple top. It's kind of a triple top. I'm going to call it a triple top throughout the day. But if we take out tops on Bitcoin and this doesn't want to take that level, this would be the one I want for any kind of a sell-off in the space. I did just get into AMD. I'm going to wait till the open to even fire orders on a firm, because the spread is still not very good on that stock. So we'll be very, very patient. But my first look was to wait for some fades and put this top. So let's get it on Adara. It is Thursday. It is Bitcoin ETF day. But I feel as if it's going to still be a chip in big cap tech name. In 2 and 1, ring it.
Ayo, all right, I agree with you on all of those fronts, man. Just keep on watching the best names out there and the names that have been popping through. Watch out for Coinbase, 160, 150. I am going long when we break that. It looks like Coinbase right now is really starting to get going here. As crypto is now open, crypto's open 24 hours. You're about to break through 38,000 right now. Watch out for Coinbase, just dropped at 160. We'll continue to watch that one. Google is screaming a little bit here, up to 143.60 and back down. Palantir is a big win right now, but we got to find some more trades. You're into AMD, and we like the chip
AMD's
space.
taking 49s, so I'll be out of. If it takes out the 10 level on 49s, then I'm just going to be out of it. A firm, I said I wanted to short a pop on a firm. A firm is not popping. I don't know if I feel good or bad about that. Because that means I would have to short the bottom if I'm going to take it, which I'm not a huge fan of. But AMD is absolutely churning. I'm out of AMD now. We'll take the first hit, looking for the fade. That trade it should have been at the on the number, but I did take it on the way back in, as it's absolutely flying. Okay, here comes a firm a little bit now. I want to get to Mara very quickly, because we just broke that 19.
Wow.
Mara's breaking down, not up. Just going to throw that out there. I still favor this one as the fade play du jour, as long as it's not taking out 27.7. I feel like this is the fade. This is the fade of them. BTC is also coming back in.
Yeah, well, yeah, close.
Well, it's
close,
off of that.
Down $200, yeah.
Yeah, off of that high.
Yeah, no, yeah, market's starting to scream a little bit right there. We got way into the money here. Sorry, on Palantir. Why is my chart not switching? Palantir just touched VWAP, and we were so stupid. We only had one out there at 80, and I did not realize how high up we got right there. So I'm going to take some out. I do not like how PLTR just failed up there. I was waiting at 87. It went to 85, I believe, on that move. But here, everything is starting to fall back in, but not Google, man. Google right now is $2 in the money and still ripping up, man. We're long at 142 on that one, as it's starting to take out highs. I wrote down we may have to take out that 143, and that's gone now, 144 and a quarter. Palantir's back down to a reload spot. Let's just buy it here, and then just admit that there's something wrong right now with that. You're right about Bitcoin. It is falling down to 47.6.
Don't even look at a firm. I'm going to throw up.
If it went to 45, I will throw up as well, because I'm at 44.85. But Coinbase is falling off that level. I mean, you can't just tell me don't look at a firm. Oh, okay. That's okay for me.
No, I'm just pissed off.
What levels were you at there?
No, that's the one. Whatever. It is what it is. You should never, if you like a stock the best, you should find a way to be in it. But the spread was stupid after that number. So obviously I didn't trade it. It's a little frustrating, so I'll take the L on AMD, but you could have shorted any price on Affirm and it would have been absolutely fine. But we're not in it, so let's not. You don't want to dwell on it. I just went to what is next. The other stock that I liked to the south side was Intel. There's the Intel top after the bounce in the future to the pre-market lows. It then wicks the same thing. You know my style of trade. The wick top, short it, give to the high if I'm looking for the fade off that 16,000 level as well. AMD got to 150.11. I just saw. So it looks like it failed exactly the 150 level. I don't know where I'm getting into Affirm, I'm not going to lie to you, but I do want that one to the south side. Oh, and as far as Mara goes, yeah, that one's continuing to tank a little bit here. Got down to 26 even as well. If we reclaim, I missed that short of 27. If we reclaim that 17,000, there's a few places I like, a lot of big cap tech. Nvidia is over 550. And also do not want to sleep on Netflix, which we were just talking about. This continues its strength. It broke 500, but I'm not punching that level. It's not, Netflix ain't Nvidia. I'm not punching 500 at 930. But I do like the long in Netflix. Let's see it come back down here. If we hold 17,000, I want to look for a bounce play on NFLX.
All right, we're trying to hold out for some of these. We got a couple of new positions. If you guys can see it right now. I still, honestly, man, I still feel like this computer is so freaking slow right now. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. But okay, we're long right now on Roblox. New position initiated there on RBLX. Let's see if we can make that one get going a little bit here. Back up to the upside. I do want to, exactly. I do want to get out of this one. If we do break too much below, basically VWAP is at 4180. So if we really get moved in on that one, then that's where we will wind up taking the L on that. If that's what winds up happening there on Netflix, on Roblox, but we're long for that right now. We did average back into Palantir. We've taken a little bit out here, but I still like the name, and let's just see if it continues to work here. It's going to be Roblox, it's going to be Palantir up into 74. So let's see if that can get going again on a little bit of a rebuy for this name. I mean, we bought it a couple times and now it's starting to get back to the upside. So we like that play. We also just took another profit on Roblox. Guys, we're $2.50 in the money right now on Google. That one's Palantir, 10 cents in the money on multiple reloads. That's Roblox right now, 25 cents in the money. That's 3 for 3 again right now, and it's 9:35. I hope you're enjoying it. There goes that money dropping back in, man. We're on one, but hey, it's just another day, right?
It is just another day, but every day is a good day as long as you get a chance to trade. I'm in and out already on Intel. 47.6 to 47.45. It just held the bid down there. Trust me when I tell you there was a bid at 47.40. It's obvious on the chart. It's true. It was glorious. I jumped right back into it. I'm going to give it to that 70. Had an accidental out at flat, but if you get out accidentally, just get right back in at the same price because that's what it gives you. I'm still not going to short the bottom on Affirm because the market is flying. We'll let the market come to me if I'm going to trade that stock to the south side. But we do know what we like to the longs, and one of them is going to be Uber, which already broke out the top. There wasn't a dip. That's the one we've been dipping and ripping the last couple of days on consolidations. It's actually just broken out once again. So I had the 63 marked off. If we hold a bit above there, I do like the longs in that particular name. And then back over to NFLX, Netflix. Not much of a dip, but it's back through 500 even. I think we can see Netflix is obviously pretty strong here today. That goes without saying. Affirm, it's not even at $43 yet, so I'm not thinking about the Affirm short. And yes, for those that asked, I am on the bid of Fisker again at $1. If it gets there, I'll know.
Google, unos, dos, tres now. $3 in the money on Google. We just got out another piece there on Roblox up there at 40s. So this name working out. Not liking how much this name's pulling back a little bit, but that's that. We also got some more out there as Palantir ripped through VWAP again. It got to 83.84. This name's not as strong as I thought, guys. So I am going to be starting to exit some of this up here in and around this area as the market could easily pull back in again. We just broke through 17,000. So congratulations, man. I know Neil and I have been talking about this level for a minute. 17,000 right there on the NASDAQ. Google pulling back in a little bit. That 145 could be pretty key up there. Maybe we just take the $3. Let's do that. The market could still fade, man. I mean, I don't know what's going to be happening. Well, you know what? Maybe there is more room to go here. Let's cancel that offer on Google right now and see what happens. We just got into a new position with Apple breaking higher as well. Apple, wow, that name was not beat down for very long, was it? Up now into 186. We're long here at 186.15 on a pullback. Okay, so Apple's a little weaker today. Not sure what that pullback's all about. We'll start the bidding right here. Watch out for 185.50 to do some damage on the other end of that one. So that's what's happening right now, man. We're just starting to clean up a couple of these trades. It's Google, Rip City, it's Palantir, it's Roblox right now, and the newest position in this guy's portfolio of day trading is going to be Apple, with our first target right here at 186. Let's go 40-ish ahead of that VWAP. And with some news, it's Miss A.
Small cap runner on watch here at SEALSQ, LAES, the ticker for this one. Float of under 10 mils, about 7.5 million share float here. Yesterday, we didn't have any catalyst for today, but yesterday announcing their preliminary full year 2023 revenue projection of 30 million, and then launching also a semiconductor provisioning service. So keep an eye on LAES, guys.
Just quickly, Neil, I just want to talk about this. I know I was just talking too much, but Apple's just really, I was just telling to you under my breath that Apple's going to be a problem. Apple just fell in. I'm buying more 185.50s. So I just want to let you guys know I'm putting on double the shares down there that we have right now. So, and then I don't even really have a stop. I didn't really expect this to come in like this rapidly right now, especially with the market kind of hanging out. So just real quick, bear with me if you're on this Apple trade. Like, there's this 185.50. So how low do we go here, man? I don't know if I want to trust too much lower than 185. Okay, so if it does continue to break down, this will turn out to be about like an 80-cent hit or so. We'll average it in at 185.50 right there, and then if it just breaks through 185, the stock is broken. So I don't want a piece of it. The market's up quite nicely, and Apple is down. We will try to catch that falling knife, but that's it, man. Just 185, and it's a tap out. We'll be like Dan Severn and tap out.
Dan Severn? That's kicking a little bit old school.
I couldn't think of anybody else.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, there's so many.
That's fine. I just tapped out on Intel. I'll show you guys Netflix. I played the 500 level. Didn't seem like it wanted to hold. I was long right in front of the 500. There's about $2.50 worth of alpha in there, so I think it was worth the shot, but I need to see it consolidate a little bit more before we go back into that one. Intel was good the first time through. The second time it breaks back out. So in, back in, and then out. Mara made an attempt first time through to break and then failed it. I was in Netflix at the time, so it is what it is. If I choose to trade Netflix and I choose to trade Intel, then I wasn't on Mara when it took out that top, that triple top that we're talking about. So if it wants to do it, then I just got to find a place to join the trend, which is, it's okay if we can grab it. And as I mentioned, I will be in and out of that TJA, and I was taking some longs on the way back in on that one. It's starting to come up. It's a 5-10 deal, so I am favoring longs into about the 470 level. AMD is about to hit that 151, but it's battling the 150 level. I'd much rather go for longs where I like the short. Resistance turning into support is the name of my game, generally speaking, so I want to stick to that. And I'm also offering a couple of stocks that we talked about the last couple of days. When Lucid breaks a low, I try to short up off the bottom of that low. Didn't get it in here, but generally speaking, this is a trade that has worked. Just trying to get this when it breaks the bottom. I think at some point it's usually likely to pick you up in front of VWAP, but it's not happening yet.
Okay, I'm just finally. I'm trying to tag here. Trader
Holy
Tammy.
shoot, Mark.
Tell me what's happening, because I need some more of this. I need some more smoke right now. All right, Roblox, nice little upside move there. We're waiting for that to go through. Apple. Okay, we are reloaded down here, and by reloaded I mean okay, we're just like piling it on right now into Apple. This name, I don't think
about to break the top too.
Coin, okay, well, we're getting ready to go long on Coin. Oh, 160, okay. I'm waiting for 161.50. Look at Bitcoin, man, 48. Hey, man, Fabian, my guy, 48.5 right now. Anybody long some BTC? Holla. That's a nice move to the upside right there on BTC. Okay, honestly, Apple, man, I mean, I am very, very close to just... It's too bad, because we'll give our profits back on some of these names as Apple continues to fall down, man. It's 48.5 right now. Mara, I guess, as Neil was mentioning
29.
before, 29 in Rip City, man. Hut 8, we're going to go to Adair in 1 second. Just checking in on some crypto love right now. Hut 8 up to 1348. No idea why it's not loading. It looks like it's up 13%. What's up, A?
Yeah, one more crypto name I want to highlight because it's making new 52-week highs. BITO on the Amex up 5.5% right now and climbing, guys.
Man, that's
Yeah, obviously
It's
these are
crypto
moving
time.
around. We're not really watching the ETFs because the equities are kind of giving you better liquidity, better volume, all that good stuff. Mara just broke 29. The high of the day sits right in here on Coin. That's an early trigger.
Did they just announce a Cardano ETF?
I don't think so.
No, they didn't. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I just got an early trigger on Coin, so the first thing I'm going to do is get out half. It did not break the top there, so I don't necessarily want to be in the full boat. But I'll hang on to the other half. I am back into Intel off the 48 level now, so this one, as long as we're underneath 17,000, still sets up. It didn't hold that 47.6 level, but it is holding underneath that pre-market high. So we are back in Intel. This is a name that I've been favoring short for a couple of days now. I like it holding the long term, but unfortunately, it has been a bit of a dog in the chip space. So I'm going to get some out there if it gets back into that 47.6 and then play it by ear.
I was going to say, I was almost going to tail you on that because I do like Intel short as well, but right now I have...
And my stops aren't working.
Oh no, don't say your stops aren't working. That's literally how I survive around here. Okay, so 18, you know, the fish we have to fry with Apple are like huge tunas right now because like it's just continuously going to the downside. And honestly, man, I don't even want to second guess. The order, this is why I'm watching this, my stop loss is right here at 185. It may be the bottom, it may not. This is not a huge hit. We did not average into it. We're trying to be, well, we did, but we're trying to be disciplined with the amount of shares. I've done the research, man, and when you're wrong, I hear Neil say this all the time, and he's 100% right. It's when you're wrong, you can't be wrong significantly enough, and we talk about what percentage of your portfolio or your day trade amounts that you're going to want to lose on one. Thank you so much, Randy. That you're going to want. These guys want me to buy my Volkswagen guys are now hitting me up for those GTIs again. Like, I don't know. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. I know that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm Tiptronic now, but
yeah. Exactly.
Anyways,
you're used to it.
All right. Damn it, Randy's always, we got the coffee here and I get immediately distracted. But no, Apple, and the idea is risk management, right? And it's like, we saw that it was pretty sick. We saw some levels that we liked. So we're gonna sit here and try to buy the dips. We're out of the money 40 cents and I'm talking like this, but still, it is about risk management. And if this breaks 185, then honestly, we already know that this has been a negative Nancy when the market goes down. So let's wait to see what happens right now with this name. And that's going to be Apple getting all my attention here. So I don't have an out until we get higher. So I'm waiting. This may not be worth the risk because it's the market's falling down and Apple's the sickest of the bunch. So.
Yeah, so when I said my stop didn't go, it didn't fill. That's more the issue on Coin. So what's going to happen? I get extra slippage, which is going to annoy me because when I'm long up there, you generally speaking are not going to see me take a breakout.
Sucks.
No, I don't take breakout trades that I give that much room, which is frustrating because then I lose 2x of what I'm expecting to on that trade. Like yesterday, I was able to take 3 hits on a breakout on Meta, but they're all really tight. So it was essentially a third of like Nvidia. Now this one, on that one failed breakout, is half of what the Nvidia one was. 3 times I was able to go long Meta on a break without it working. And this time I do worse on the Meta on one break because my stop actually didn't fill. And then I just punched out manually, which ended up saving me an extra, almost a full $1, an extra $1 on that one. So I'll be happy with it, but not happy. Not happy with the execution, but happy with the fact that I didn't waste any time just punching out manually because it'd be a heck of a lot worse. So Intel is coming back into the downside. It's the only position we have. As I said, I'll be in that buyout. And Fisker, it's at $1. It's kind of a gimmicky trade, but it is what it is. I got the 105 for a little bit. Didn't want to miss it. I'm on the bid at 2s, 3s, and 1s on Fisker, and there is size on the bid. I like this 47.4.
Oh no.
On Intel, if we break that, I think we get to the low of the day. I'm looking for a consolidation short as well to be able to add to it. Affirm is now at least somewhere where I'd feel comfortable putting on. It made a huge rally up. I'm looking at that 43.5. This finally came back in. I'm going to look to wet the beacon here at the quarters, then see if I can get something in the 30s and 40s. We're back underneath that 17.4 level, so I want to give myself a chance. I said I would look for shorts to pop in here. Unless we were breaking out those tops, we went to the 17,000. That was a strong move above, but it's still back underneath. So I want to be able to stick to the plan as best you can. And if it goes back above 17, we take out the highs. I don't mind joining some of those long opportunities. One of which, I don't want to get away from this name. I didn't get a dip by an Uber, so let me just cancel that order back at the previous pre-market highs. I got to start thinking about 63. If 63 holds on Uber, I might need to be joining this one so long. Did not miss this long the last 2 days. Like, it's given it to you pretty early, and you just have to find a way to get in. Today, I have managed to miss the early move on Uber.
All right, so new position. I will talk about Apple losing that 185, but we just take 20 cents right back on Alibaba. So, like, this is what I'm saying. We did obviously have more shares on Apple, but there's the break lower. I was going to, it's too bad because Adam was like, it's not going to, Apple didn't look good. And I was like agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you guys 10 minutes ago when I was basically like, what are you going to do with it? But I feel like Neil was mentioning there, taking the hit on Coinbase, but then reacting to it, right? And it's like, that's what trading is going to be. You know, we can afford to lose, it was 65 cents. We actually got the out right away. We got 99s or something. It was great. Lots of liquidity there. What I was going to bring up to everybody's attention was that I wasn't sure what to do if it broke 185. So normally, I've kind of had this strategy in my mind where when a key level breaks that I'm not really expecting to break, that's where you have to hit the short because it just proves that what you were thinking was wrong, and you know the sellers are a lot bigger than you had potentially thought, giving you a great opportunity at a name that is just basically the opposite of what the support and resistance levels were telling you. So I'm not doing it here with Apple because of the market. We're still around 17. I want to see 16.9. Like, I don't have a problem going short. We know Apple's weak now, so fine. But let's just see if there is some support. Look, going through 185, we could have smashed it.
49,000.
Yeah, I have it up right here, man. I don't know what to tell you about all of this. Like I said,
Not what I was
joking
expecting.
about all these ETFs other than the one that actually got approved. But look at Coinbase. It's actually doing the opposite of what I thought, to be honest with you. I thought with all this great hoopla and all this news that as Coinbase and as Bitcoin would continue to go up, that maybe, you know, my negativity on Coinbase was unwarranted. But it's still failing, and I don't know why this is zoomed in so much. It's still failing at that 160, the level that you took there, which I thought was going to be along as well. I wrote down 160, 150, but at the same time, Coinbase right now, yeah, I'm here to tell you guys, it's definitely not acting the way that probably either one of us thought. So, all right, but someone who has ideas about something right now is Adara over at the desk.
I have some context on Apple. So as of about 5 minutes ago, lots of people reporting here saying that Microsoft has overtaken Apple as the largest public company in the world by market value. So here's Microsoft's chart, and then we do have Apple, as you said, moving to the downside here, guys.
Unpsychological.
We were just talking to each other like, does it really matter? I mean, I was just thinking to myself, like,
They're both great.
It matters because of, like, you lose that story of being the largest market cap. But, like, I mean, everybody's in all of these names anyways. You own an ETF, you've been trading or investing in anything over the last 20 years. You probably have some Microsoft or Apple love at some point. Whether or not you're in it now, I don't know. But yeah, wow, Microsoft, what the hell? That's at 390? This, like, not being able, this has been, wow, I had no idea Microsoft was at 390. What are we talking about when we're talking about all-time highs here on Softy? Have we overtaken that already? I feel
Tesla broke 230, by the way.
Tesla broke 230. Okay, why don't you go into that, and I'm going to look into see what's up with Microsoft because this seems to be
a problem.
Yeah, we're already way over this. Yeah, this is like, oh my God. I actually looking at this chart, man. Like, no wonder why Microsoft is overtaking everybody. This is insane. Like, Copilot, Microsoft Copilot is going to be huge, I guess. Like Bing, you actually talked about that the other day, how easy it is now to use ChatGPT. Because
I use it I have Bing open.
Yeah,
Every single Microsoft
Why are we
Edge.
bitching about Chrome then? What are we doing? It's Edge.
No, it
is Edge.
Edge is the browser. I have Edge open every single day here, and I use that all the time. Anytime I sound really smart with the fact that there's no way Neil actually knew that off the top of his head.
Right.
Like if it's like a rap lyric, like fine, fair enough. Or it's a sports thing, fine, fair enough. Sometimes market related. But if it's random, I probably just ask ChatGPT on
my little
tool there. I was about to talk about Tesla, but a firm is now at 42 quarters here, and it's trying to make a higher low. The market just bounced a bit, so I was about to put a trailing stop in. I'm just gonna get out. You know my style of trade, typically try to keep it within the pocket. But it put in, if you look at this break, so 43.20, it goes about 30 cents off the top. So 42 at the bottom, it starts bouncing at that 30-cent mark is usually where I'm like, okay, take the trade out. If it continues lower, I don't think there's usually a problem. I did the same thing on a firm yesterday and then found another short when it came back to the upside, so it wasn't much of an issue. Intel is headed back down. getting back down to the 47.3 level. I was in it a couple times, 47.6. The second time stopped out, and then we got back in off of those highs. The second it put a curl in underneath 48, we jumped into the short. Part of that, just for anyone that's wondering, like when you get a top wick like that, some of it is due to the fact that I was glued to the futures failing the 17,000 level. And I think that was a little bit of a coincidental, hey, I wanted to punch long. I was expecting that it could go all the way up closer to 48. It just happened to not. Fisker, I am in this stock, so I will show you. I just saw a big bid at 5s and was like, let me get something in at the 5 level in case it bounces. And Nimit, I was trying to go short Fisker, but I didn't get it. I was trying to go short Lucid. I never got Lucid. Like, this is an order I put in after the fact. I was trying to short Lucid up at the top in front of 360. I was actually on the offer. Like, the 360 levels where it broke down, I was on the offer at 58, and it looks like it filled 57, and there was so many things to be looking at. So, like, I'll be frustrated because, like, this morning is about the misses for me. I missed a short on Lucid, missed a short on Fisker, missed a long on Uber.
What is Uber's price? Because that's a good long. No?
Yeah, it might be. It's now that it's coming back in, you have to be patient. Like, now you're trying to buy the dip in a market which is kind of trending to the downside. That's a tricky thing to do, so I'm not going to overdo it. If we'll get back into an Affirm on the next available pop, Tesla is. That's what I was going to talk about next. Tesla is dying. Well, it's not dying, but it's underneath 230. Tesla failed the 200 period moving average just now. If we can't get back above 231. Like, in terms of support levels, 220, sure, 200 psychological. Remember, the trend bottom on Tesla is $170. At least my trend line anyway. So that's just my trend line. I'm not saying it's going to 170. But I am saying I'd be a buyer at 170, though.
Yeah, I think Tesla, I think you got to let that go a little bit further, like you were mentioning there. There's a lot of negativity around the name. I'm not really convinced on why yet. The EV space has seen a little bit of some down days, as Neil keeps talking about. Fisker, rightfully so, and Lucid, and Rivian. Oh, they're a different story, but I'm just saying the sector, like, it's like nothing is getting too much love right there right now. Okay, so just real quick, man, Roblox, we just got a 55 print a couple minutes ago. So, like, honestly, that's oh my God. We've been talking about this one, those of you that joined me on the market recap show with the Fibonacci Princess. We were talking about Roblox for the last couple times, and there are some great levels drawing, fibs from the top to the bottom here, where you could find some possible support in and around a level that I like. I'm trying to tell you every day that there's no way that I'm as smart as anybody that we have on any show. But the thing about it is like, I just use this 50 period moving average, but also support and resistance. It seems like we're bouncing off 41, 41.50 right here. I like Roblox. I like the technology there. I like the gaming side of everything. I like the fact that GTA 6 is coming out. Is it the end of this year, 2025? Yeah, so 2025. Okay, so not the end of this year, near the end of this year, into 2025. So, that's take two. Christmas 2025. Geez, okay. We'll wait on buying take
Christmas.
Two near to there.
2025? Oh, I thought it was way.
Yeah, that's Christmas 2025. That's 2 years, right?
Yeah. Well,
okay, so.
Okay, that's not what I thought.
Yeah, Fabian's telling me all this kind of stuff. So I'm not talking about putting GTA into Roblox. I was just sort of talking about the video games and all that kind of stuff, and how hot sort of that sector's been. We saw ATVI, Microsoft came in and buy it, and we knew. Remember that story, Neil, where Warren Buffett was in there buying ATVI near the bottom because he just knew somehow? This is part of what you were talking about.
You gotta go to dinner with the right people.
Right, and this is what I was saying about you clarified the market is rigged, and I just said that, there are, like you mentioned, there are aspects of it, and that would be one of them where you got to know the right people. But at the same point, regulators, I feel like, I don't know if someone's going to come in and buy Roblox, but at the end of the day, I think it's a well-oiled machine over there. They keep on growing their daily active users. The Robux keep on getting more expensive. It's like inflation is hitting Robux right now as well. And
I don't have that problem yet.
Yeah, you will have that problem. And the thing is that Roblox is actually fine. Like,
we're safely on Minecraft right now.
Yeah, and Minecraft, and that's where it starts, my guy. So watch out. Okay, right now, nice take on Google to the high side there. We just bought some 143s. We're long at 143.11 right now on this play. We didn't get out of anything when it went up to 145, by the way. So now that's going to look silly, but we'll wait. We had a small piece anyways. That was ridiculous. I was too obsessed with Apple at that point. But 144 coming in. We'll wait. If this loses 143, I'm going to give this 20 cents. You know, the market's underneath right now. All this talk about Roblox is nice, but let's get back to trading. Like these were under, man. We're under VWAP. We're under the 50-period moving average. It is not Friday yet, and it's not free falling by any stretch of the imagination. The NASDAQ is back to zeros. But just remember, we had a bad CPI print. You know, it was hotter than expected. So the market is digesting that. It seems to be muted right now. What is the ES actually? The ES is down more.
The NASDAQ's
Google's
exactly
going.
flat.
Yeah, okay.
The only thing I want that, because we mentioned Warren Buffett, for anyone that was listening to, you know the level on Occidental, you know it bounced off that level. That's all I'm going to say. Anybody that's paying attention to Oxy knows that it crept down to 56, and of course it's up the day after it creeps down there. Because that's how Occidental rolls. Sorry, that's how Mr. Buffett, he owns 34% of the stock. I don't know the answer to this question, and maybe, I don't know if ChatGPT probably won't be able to give this one to me, so you guys will have to tell me. When was the last time you saw somebody accumulate like this that didn't eventually own the company? That's all. You guys leave it to me. I have no idea, but I'll leave it to you guys. That's what I wanted to say.
I think there's something in Berkshire where they're not allowed.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't, but
maybe.
What are we headed to?
I agree with you.
What's the end game here? What's the end game? Anyways, AMD, VWAP, I'll have to be way more patient. I don't think I was very patient with this short. I think that goes without saying. Because if you look at normally the style of trade, that was probably a very clean entry back off of 150. Juxtapose that with Intel, you know, sort of getting, like allowing it to get up, show you the wick level, then get in when it shows you a wick. It shows you a top and then get in. So I want to do the same thing here with AMD if I'm even afforded the opportunity. That could be the 149, which is about VWAP as well. Affirm kind of still sucks, so I guess maybe we're looking at a bottom break on Affirm. Oh, and you know what? Remember yesterday on Rivian when it wouldn't break? So Rivian, this time, instead of failing underneath 19, it failed over 19. Rivian was not a good stock yesterday for me. But the premise still stands on Rivian. If it fails this 50 and 200 period simultaneously, I think there's a move to 1770 is your target on that move. That's $1 from here. It's $18 stock, man. If this market wants to fall all over itself, this is a name that I wanted to be in yesterday. If it happened, it's a name I want to be in today. We'll go to Sean before we go.
Yeah, I just want to say something right now because if you guys remember who was on our show not too long ago, Brendo talked, it's Roma Financial right here with a nice little move to the upside, taking out that $2. Nice bottom there, now up to $5, man. It's up 50% right now. Roma starting to go and getting that volume, now 10 million shares. So let's go Roma, let's go over to the desk.
Slightly negative on the day right now after a slightly hotter than expected CPI print earlier today. Overall, a lot of crypto stocks on the move after that spot Bitcoin ETF approval, including GBTC a lot higher after this result. This one actually was touching and making new 52-week highs earlier today, so keep an eye on all of these Bitcoin and crypto-related names. We also have Netflix to the upside on a couple of positive catalysts. For one, Variety reporting that their Netflix's ad tier now has over 23 million monthly active users, and also their games download for the Netflix gaming venture has risen by 180%. So Netflix also definitely a name on watch. Last but not least, Lyft, LYFT, getting a downgrade from Goldman Sachs, but a price target increase, down about 3.5% on the day right now, guys. Brought to you by Surge Trader, where traders can get a virtual funded trading account up to $1 million, trade indices like including the Dow, S&P, Russell, NASDAQ, oil, gold, BTC, and Forex pairs. Go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
Like Fisker. Okay, so Google ripped, and we we actually made more money on this little move up 50 cents than we did on this move because of the shares, right? We're trading completely different sizes during the day than we are right now. So, or during the pre-market than we are right now. So let's just remember that one if you're trading here today with us. And again, remember, you know, pre-market, you guys, I don't want to say trade it at your peril, but just understand some of the risks, of course, that are associated with that one. All right, and what's been the piss me off moment of the day here is going to be Coinbase, because we lost one way and now it looks like we're going to lose the other way here, but we've learned our lesson from yesterday and from today also, as Neil and I are both kind of like trying to figure this name out right here with
Rivian pisses me off more than anything.
Is Rivian? Okay, so let me just, we'll go over to Rivian in 1 second.
That's a
I just want to talk about Coinbase just real quick right now. So we are short right now, 151.30. Let's put something on the bid down here at 150.70, see if it does fall back in. It just didn't hold that 152. We wrote down 152 that we thought, well, we just got to fill there, okay. We wrote down 152 hoping that that would hold. Since it didn't hold, now let's see about going to the downside here as we make it all back pretty much right now. Let's put some bids out here and take a fill on Coinbase with the spread being 20 plus cents. We're going to go short on Coinbase because, like I said before, if you're wrong one way, maybe you're right the other way right now. Let's go with Coinbase. That's a great short right there. Now $1.50 in the money. You got to have the ability to reverse course on some of these names, guys. It's Coinbase. Let's see where the bottom is now on this name.
Yeah, the bottom is a hell of a lot lower is my guess.
You might be right.
The NASDAQ, sorry, the ES is about to get to 48,000. I can't believe I'm only in one short, but I'm not going to dwell on it. We're going to look for what's next. And we're at that 48 level. This is a big time support. We're at 16.9 on the NASDAQ, so your double bottoms pretty much everywhere. Mara's back underneath 27. I'm only in Intel. You know I'm trying to short a pop in a firm. There is no pop on a firm.
Pop.
There's a firm. A firm continues to go lower. But Rivian, as I said, that is frustrating because the exact same setup that we're trading yesterday, I said I would just go back to it again today. I got distracted by some chip names. Maybe a buyout in there.
Never.
That better go well. But I want VWAP in here on this as well. I am in Fisker. I will tell you the bid at $1 is not exactly what I was expecting in terms of size. It's maybe 1 million shares. I kind of thought we'd be looking at 4 or 5 million, but I'm still long in front of it anyway. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
Bit of news on Tesla here. Bloomberg reporting that Tesla is boosting pay for its U.S. factory workers amid ongoing concerns about the UAW and unionization. So just keep an eye on Tesla, down about 3% right now, guys.
Okay, we're keeping our eye on Coinbase. That is now $4 in the money. This is multiple times today that we've been spinning this. Let's get to the bottom, man. It just bounced off 148. So there it is. Yes, sir. We are sitting there right now. What's up, Adam? What's up, Paul? What's up, everybody? John? What's up, everybody in the chat right now that is on this trade, because we're on one right now. Downside right here for Coinbase. But we do have a fail to talk about right there. It's Alibaba. Just broke through the bottom as well. That broke through 72. So we'll say see you later to that one. And we will just continue to trade the same thing, man. This is what it is. Here we go. We're trying to be built different. I told you we're trying to hold on to some of these plays. There goes Coinbase right now. Let's go. I mean, we only went short. We went long, then we were wrong, then we went short. Remember that level on Apple? I said if we're talking about something right there, we have to be careful about reversing on trades that we think are good levels. There it is right now. It's a nice little wash down. Now $5 in the money. We haven't hit this too much today, so let's hit it right now. It's a Dollar Club member, but everything else is falling. As the market comes down, we're going to lose our way here a little bit on Google as that just breaks. That's kind of a flat trade. Thankfully, we took that out. Right there, and Palantir is getting close to being squashed. Like this name just kept on going, and now gone on Palantir. So let's find some lower levels. It's not a big position yet. I'm willing to make more here, but let's wait to see if we can find something on Palantir to buy, because honestly, man, we're starting to break a little low here. Yes.
Boom, to the downside. The problem with that is I clearly, I mean, come on, that doesn't end well for me. I'm literally dead there.
Depends how high.
It falls on top of me, the tree.
Yeah, the trees are really heavy, actually.
What are we doing here?
Sorry,
but the 47 level on Intel, it's not just that it's round number, short 48, 247. It's look at the bottom yesterday, so you know my style of trade. We just broke 48 on the ES. The NASDAQ continues to head to the downside. Intel is the kind of stock that tends to respect levels like these. I'll zoom out even further, and you can see what's going on at the 47 level. So it won't be exactly $1 because I didn't short 48 even. We got 47.82s as our price. We can pretty much stick a fork in a firm. Affirm's at $41. That is in the gates of hell.
Yes.
I probably could have held on to that one. Rivian is at $18.50. That is in the gates of hell. How am I only in one short? I want to throw up about that, but you can't. You got to be able to live with it. There is a bounce here. Now, I've marked off Mara because I think this is where I might go to next. It just bounced off the 25.5, which was a good level yesterday. The 27 on the way back up. You know, if we're going to look to short a pop, I think that's where it's going to have to be. But, you know, the shorts have been fantastic on the way in here. Time to take some profit off for that intel and then look for that next trade.
Yeah, guys, I'm willing just to stop out of all of this down here at Palantir near this bottom. So I was just looking at it. Honestly, man, there isn't much here. Like if this breaks, you're basically you're breaking right now through 30. So there we go, 25, 16, 25. We play key numbers. Let's just see if we can get some sort of a bounce off that. We're gonna get out at 75%. We just bought more rate here because this is the end. So we're long at 38s. This is not a disaster, but you know when you average into trades that aren't working out, they do get disastrous real quick. So let's go. We're pretty lucky to get out. Not lucky. This is why we have these outs. You know, it's like I can actually be pretty happy getting out at that level. The only thing I'm sad about, and I told you, is that I wasn't sure about reversing that trade back in. So there's 16.8. Remember we said earlier, where does this market have a potential of falling? You know, down into 16.8. Well, that happened, and it's just going right now. So watch out for this move back on the NASDAQ, heading even lower into 16.8. And here goes Palantir, guys, and there it goes. So that's, again, like, we were just too long today. You know, it's funny because we had these things as bears. But
man, I had all the shorts, and I got.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, that
oh
sucks.
my goodness, I had AMD, but we talk about this all the time. This is like the perfect learning moment because I'll throw some shade on myself here for a second for you guys. I had these. You heard me talk about this. You want to get short on the back end of the trade and not the front end of the trade because the back end of the trade, you're with the momentum. So even if your prices are right, in the long run, you're not going to be able to actually hold the trade or trade it the way you want to. And so the difference between AMC and, say, Intel was patience. With a firm, again, was patience. Like, I'm not short here on a firm. I'm not even short here on a firm. I was just short there. I'm now out of everything except for Fisker. Hey, you know what's up with Fisker and that $1 level. I chuckle at it, but it's not that funny for anyone that owns shares of Fisker.
We should just be short everything. This is so stupid.
I know, it's stupid. And at the point now, like I'm not the only long, okay, I have that buyout stock, but whatever. The only long I have is Fisker off a buck, which is pretty much a gimmick trade. Anything else, I'm looking for, it's got to be a home run level, which this is the 540 on Nvidia. Like that is at least something. When I go back over to something like an Apple, it's not at a level that I would like. I do still like Uber to a certain extent. It hasn't broken lows. It's actually it's still green on the day, believe it or not. So if the market finds a bottom, this is a stock that is at least held green. It's held previous close. It's got a support level to work on it. So I have to be very, very patient here if I'm trying to grab a long. There's names I want to go short if it pops, but if we don't get pops, then you just got to accept what happened. Like I didn't get enough out of the Affirm trade, didn't get enough out of the Intel trade. We'll see about that in the longer run. But there's still plenty of time left in that day. Don't want to be jumping on bids here just because I happen to see something I kind of like. If I'm going to try a long, I better really like that long. And just to show you guys what Fisker looks like, it's not a very big bid. 500,000 shares? That kind of sucks. I ended up taking, I said I was going to take half. I ended up taking like, to be honest, like a quarter of what I would here at the 01 level because there's not much of a bid. My average price is 1/2. Normally, I'd be taking enough at ones. My average price is literally 1. And no matter what I got in front of it, but this is not much of a bid on Fisker. It is going to go SSR here if it goes down to 10%. So I'm willing to punch out and then try to jump back in on an SSR bounce. But that's a gimmick trade.
All right, still do have a piece of Palantir here, and believe it or not, because we made some money earlier, if this just goes back into 50, it has to go there. We're holding 75%. Then we'll probably take that out. Like, that's a key level. It's where the 20-period moving average is. You're really starting to point down. I did put a bid near 16. We'll give it one more shot if that can make some money down into that area. All right, I did not average into Roblox. Well, we almost did. It came into 41.50 right there. Now Roblox starting to go back up to the upside. So we really like that name for sure. We did not, we're $4 in the money on Coinbase, but we were 5 when it went into 46 there. It bounced off 46. So you know what? We've already taken, obviously it's going to be my #1 name here. Roblox could be, but we're going to have to watch out now because now it's starting to get back up to the upside again. So let's go, man. If this market can go, we will really appreciate that. But for right now, so goes Coinbase. Let's get a piece out if it breaks through 150 now. S&P futures are off the lows right now. Again, Google looks like it does go back into that level that we bought the first time, 142.50. So up and down there on Google. We'll have to watch out for that. But here goes Roblox. Let's let this name get back up here to 42.10. That's going to be my first out on RBLX at this point.
Roblox. So I know the name that I like is we're trying to make a bit of a bottom. I already said Uber was still standing out. The close was at 62.40. I can get it at the 50s right now. So I can give it to, not necessarily 41 just because it closed there. But if you look right before the open, there was this little wick down into 62.30. So nice consolidation zone. 25 cents worth of risk. Maybe throw in some slippage because it's been a slippage kind of morning. If you've had some slippage in there, it's because liquidity is, I feel like it's been a little bit lower. It can happen after a number. But anyways, long in Uber, I think 63 has to be a bit of a target in here. So if it gets up to that price against the grain, if I'm against the grain, which the grain is down, then I'm usually taking VWAP out and then looking for a trade after. It continues to VWAP, fair enough. I think that's great. Fisker temporarily bounced off $1. It looked a heck of a lot better. When I saw that bid, it was nothing on it. And then they slammed 01s and some decent size came to 01s. So I got a little bit more. Basically, instead of my price being 1/2, my price is like 1/4. It wasn't a heck of a lot more. Or my price would be like pretty much at it and even. It doesn't show you the actual fractions of a cent, which kind of matter in this case. But I'm into Uber. We said that was the long I'd wait for, and now we're in it. If the market bounces, affirm. I want to get back into that short. Rivian, I want to get this short. To me, this is the flat bottom break we were looking for yesterday. It just didn't work yesterday. Today, it would have worked like gangbusters. But I'm going to short the pops. To me, that's trend down. When I see a level like this go on Rivian, I just want to be thinking trend down to the next level, which I think is 1770.
I was at 1014. Nvidia, it's only because Nvidia's at our level and we didn't trade
40s.
it. Yeah, and we wrote down 40s. It bounced down to 39 there and change. I feel like this is going to be worth a take here down. Let's just try a bid. As soon as I put a bid, it hits it, but that's fine. We don't put bids if we don't want to get hit. All right, so that's 140. We're just going to start it now. And remember,
it's filled?
Yeah, I know. Just because I just pushed bid enter, it's just insta-filled. Yep, exactly. All right, so we will wait for a little bit more love down here near that 540 level, and then we'll see about buying a little bit more. We do take an early position. We're in about 30% of what we want here on Nvidia, and just hoping that this name will fly back in to the levels that we were looking at previously, right? I mean, that's to me what it's all about. Following, we talk about it all the time. Follow your rules and try to follow your plan. So let's just go back over to a name that we know is strong in case the market does bounce back up. Man, we've got Roblox. We took some profit there. And now we have Nvidia and we have Coinbase, which is still that $4. So, all right, let's just keep on going. We have Nvidia. We have that bottom. I'm just going to respect that very bottom wick right now. 538.80. Let's give it out to 538.50. If we break that low, we're fine. Right now, we were just 70 cents in the money as it just touched 42s again. So, all right, let's go Nvidia, right? Let's put on our Nvidia cheer hat and see if we can get back up. 544 and change might be a decent spot. 545 might even be better. So let's go 544.50 and see if we can get this. So that would be $3. So again, the risk seems to be worth it here for Nvidia. We're just going to sit here and try it. So going long right now on NVDA, we are long.
And that Roma, by the way, halted to the upside.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's this looks like the first halt, at least on my chart. I'll check the halt scanner if it halted more than once, but I think it's the first halt of the day. The tap is 23 cents from where it closed at 625, so 648, now 649. It's indicating a open to the upside there. So it's 58% up and looking like it wants just a little bit more. I'm only in Uber long as the market's getting these little bottoms in here, and I was asked about what my thoughts on Tesla. That's Roma breaking back out. We're bouncing around that 16.8 level. That's why I was looking for some longs, but it doesn't mean they have to work. But just to respect the trend, Tesla's down at 227. It is well underneath that the 200 period moving average. If it gets back to that 230, 231, remember it has to reclaim that moving average, which is a big deal. So that's another name I would look to short the pops. Although I seriously doubt if it gets there that I'm not already in a short on Rivian. Rivian is my preference if I have to take one of these two. So I'm looking for a pop back into at least the 60s or 70s there on Rivian. Uber is flat as we just grabbed that long. A firm can't get off the bottom to give me a short, another short. But nice little bounce right off of the level we expected, that 62.30. And on the way back up, added to it because I liked it. And we'll get some out on the way to VWAP because at this time of day, past 10 o'clock, after you get that opening rush, which is what we usually call the first 30 minutes, I'm thinking about VWAP. Why did I double orders there?
Just, we do have it right there. Shout out to everybody that trailed on that one. Nvidia is now $1.30 in the money and starting to go higher right now. Bless you. I'm going to get out at 543.50. Not 544.50. The reason why is, here we go. It's $2 in the money. We just put this on. John Travolta's like, huh? Finally a long that's maybe working today. There it is right now. It's $1.80 now, $1.90, almost $2 in the money on this trade that we had just put into the portfolio, into the blotter right now for us. So I do have an offer.
You know what I call that?
Yeah, there it is.
Stick-to-itiveness.
I call it gumption. We talked about this yesterday.
I'm trying to make
Is
that
gumption
a word.
even a word? We sort of talked about that.
No, gumption is 100% a word. Stick-to-itiveness is not a word. I'm trying to make a word that ain't. Gumption is 100%.
Okay, good.
99.9% a word. You should never speak in certainties.
There it is right now. We ride that bull. Shout out to T-Money. She was like, maybe this is not a long, but that's why we're out of half right now. Let's see if we can't get this young money back up to the upside. And here we go, man. Nvidia now breaking through $2. Let's go. Roblox to the downside as well, but that just got bought up again by us. So let's see if we can't make a little upside move now on RBLX. It's Palantir to the races as well right now. So things are starting to, if you can't tell, things are starting to work out quite nice right here. 147. I'm going to get out a piece of Coinbase at 147, man. I just keep on staring that $5 in the face. That could be a problem right there. And by the way, it's too bad that Palantir just went right back to the level that we were in at. We were long at 38. So we got stopped out at 25, but we still held 25% of this one, trying to make it all back on Roblox or on Palantir one step at a time. Nvidia, by the way, unos, dos, tres. It's a $3 winner right now for Nvidia. Let's just watch and see where this one goes as we're patient. It's been on the sticky note. It's been everywhere. Wait for these trades to develop, and there it is right there. What's up, Jody? It's gumption time, baby.
I think, was that a call for?
No.
Never mind.
No, it's just,
never mind.
Just some idiot talking about gumption, I think.
It's 10:20. There's nothing wrong with gumption. Gumption is amazing, and gumption is important. It's just another way. You can call it conviction, you can call it guts, you can call it cojones, whatever you want. It's all the same stuff. I took the first out in Uber. I want the next one to be at VWAP, so the market is attempting to bounce, but I'm not completely convinced of the overall longs given what has happened in this market. Like, it's been trending the other direction, so on this bounce, can it hold 16.9s? If answer yes, look to add to long positions that you like. If answer no, then look to short some things that are trash or weak. I was about to talk about a firm, that's why I said that. But yeah, it's weak. So on that pop, I would have thought VWAP or 42, that should be obvious, right? That was your bottom at 42. I was covering in front of it before. VWAP sits at 42.20. I'd love it at that price if we're going to curl off to 16.9. And it's the same thing with Intel. I'm thinking VWAP here. Okay, so 47, round number, goes to 47.01. It looks really good now, but at the end of the day, like, it could have gone 50 cents lower and I'd look bad. So I want the VWAP retrace here on Intel. Those were the two shorts that work. I want to stick to that well. And notice the stock I'm long outside of gimmick trade on Fisker. The stock that I'm long, Uber, that was from the last 2 days. Longs in Uber have worked 2 days in a row. Got to have it the third day when it sets up. But let's get to the small cap recap with the Dara.
Lots of these crypto-related small caps moving around today, including Canaan. CAN is the ticker for this one. Down a little bit, still up about 7% though on the day amidst the overall Bitcoin and crypto-related stock movement with that ETF spot Bitcoin ETF approval yesterday. We also have Roma Green moving. ROMA is the ticker for this one. IPO'd on Tuesday, up about 50+% right now on the day here, ROMA. Last but not least, we have Vivo Power, VVPR is the ticker, announcing a follow-on strategic direct investment of $5 million into Tembo at a $120 million valuation. Lots of small caps to keep an eye on today, guys.
Okay, guys. We're $4 now in the money on Nvidia. Like that is, thank you, Sharif. This is just continuing to go, man. Up, 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 and away for NVDA. Something just failed for me, though. What was it? Oh, it was Coinbase. So I took out half of what we had there on Coinbase at 150. Too many times bottom there at 147. I'm going to hold for that 147. I'm not even going to get out if it comes back into there. I feel like we definitely missed that opportunity right there for that trade. Obviously, upside right there on Coinbase, or downside on Coinbase. But just in fear that it continues to go, we will take out half of what we have. I'll slap a fail on that because honestly, giving back $2 there is not something that I should have done. As here it comes right back in, but I was just getting nervous. I'm still, look, man, we're short at 152. We'll take it out at 150. It sucks to make, huge winners turn out to be small winners, but here it comes right back in, so all is well in Katina household. Nvidia is still $4, still $3, sorry. Roblox gave it up again, man. It did not break through 42, so I'm just getting some more outs here every time it comes back up, and just trying to take 10 cents, which we're holding out for way more, and I'm probably stopped now. We're out of about 25%. Of these fills. So right now our average price is 88. Let's see if it goes back up to the upside. We are net positive on Roblox, but that's more just because we got out of 80% of this trade that we've averaged back into it on the downside. So that's my sort of roundabout way of explaining to you what's happening on Roblox. And then we did get a nice pop on Palantir. We said if we got back up to 50, we would think about getting some out, and it went to 43, so we did exactly that. Yeah. Nvidia could tank. Like it didn't get to the 50, not tank, but it didn't get to the 50 period. It didn't get to VWAP, and the futures just bounced off 16.9. Probably it's time to start looking at some shorts here, guys, in this market, because anything that bounced back up that is relatively strong may want to fade that right now. I'm going to try my best to find some. Let me know if there's anything in the chat, or we'll hear what Neil's on.
Well,
obviously,
guess what we just
a firm short is.
Yeah, well,
always on.
I just put it on because I started it a little bit early, but that's because we got to 16.9 on a wick, like exactly 16.9 on my chart, and that's the level. The second you start pulling back, I wanted to engage in the first short. I thought the other thing I did was at that moment, I took more shares out of Uber because if we're not getting to VWAP on that move, I don't want it going all the way back, so I'm only going to hold on to the last like 10% of it. For that 63, you got to take the bounce that the market gives you, and if that's all it is, that's all it is. So when we wicked 16.9, this is what happened on a firm. It might not be, it's not the cleanest entry, that's why I only got a small piece in. I would have loved to have something at the 41.80 or the 41.90, but that's not what we have. Do not want to get trapped at the bottom. If we break out at 42, I'll get out and try to take another shot at it. But the market is doing its best. If we claim 16.9, I want to stay in Uber. I want to find another long if I can. And I want to shout out to DJK.
DJ Slay?
This is always a good time to note what is strong and what is weak. Guess what's breaking the high of the day? It shouldn't be too much of a shock for anyone that's been following these markets.
Yes, sir.
Eli Lilly is breaking the high of the day. And because we talked about these, this is the moment where I cancel that offer on BAC. You think we're going to get that fill? No, we're not getting that fill. We're not getting a fill at 33.60 on BAC today. If we do, great. Shout out to you, LJD, SoFi $8 bounce.
$8? It's down that low?
Do I need to be adding that to the list when I'm already bidding? I'm already along Fisker at 101.
SoFi's not at $8.
Oh, no, it's
what? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Why is that down 4%?
Short answer, probably. Like, would I do it? Probably, if the bid's good enough.
A little
it's
frustrating,
just,
I'd say.
like, come to my chart for a second. This is the $8 area on SoFi. It's been holding the teens, which is the current price. The 50 period's right there at 11s. The only issue with that trade is the support is underneath 8. Like the support has been down at about 785. So for the $8 trade, that's like if it has a million shares on the bid or something stupid. Then I go for the even dollar trade. But really, I think the support is down here at about 780 to 785. That's the long that I would look for on SoFi. You got to be patient, man. I've already done enough.
Well, I'm trying to be patient.
I've done enough
here.
wrong this morning by not being patient. I went to affirm. I'll go back to, I meant to type AMD there. I'll go back to this as a lack of patience, right? So I wasn't patient, didn't quite get back to 49. So, I'm willing to miss the trade, to make the trade, but I wasn't there. So as this is starting to come back up, it's all green, no signs of rollover. If it fails pre-market low, if it fails at this level, if it fails at that local high, I'll look for rollovers on AMD. But Affirm is the only short we're in right now as we go back to Adara.
Nice move to the upside here for Chesapeake Energy. CHK is the ticker for this one, entering into a merger deal for an all-state stock transaction with Southwestern Energy Company, guys.
Right now, Nvidia right now is $4. It continues to go to the upside. We did think about taking some more out. Well, we are trying to get some more. Oh, did we get that fill on Roblox? Maybe we just got it. Yeah, my bad. We just got a 97 fill. I want to talk about that because it just went right back up. My next offer is in and around VWAP, man, 42 and change. If the market wants to stream, we do like this one. Yeah, he got it there, his mic there, so that's good. And again, Palantir went up to 40, so we got that one. I did put some orders out. No, I didn't. What was I looking at? Was looking at Mara there as well, trying to break a little bit below Mara.NQ, 26, yeah. So again, I feel like this 2650, I know there's a lot of people long Mara, which like today it was already up to 29. Look at Bitcoin right now, coming in just a little bit. I thought I had a Bitcoin chart up. Oh, here I do. I do have it on Binance right now. This one's not showing me ads or anything, so that's good. Anyways, it's a pretty steady move down in for this name. So let's just zoom back out a little bit. This name, of course, is BTC. You do have that bounce spot right here, 47.5. So we've held this 47.5 a little bit, but right now, again, we're underneath. It looks like we could be able to fade out a little bit here on 47.5. So watch out for that for BTC. Nvidia is $4, like we just mentioned, so we're going to keep watching that. I just wanted to show the chart. If you guys were wondering about BTC or anything, we have it down here, the price of that. We have 1 minute until Nat Gas is coming through. That's been a nice little run in some Nat Gas names, so we'll have to watch out for that one. Oh, I know what it was. It was Amazon. I liked Amazon, but it just failed at the level that I liked. Oh no, we got to clean these wicks up. But 155 has bounced around there a couple times. I thought we would take the long breaking through 155. So I am going to take that. Yeah, it's UN, for those of you asking, it's UNG right here that you guys can watch for United States Gas Fund. So watch out for that. It's up 1% right now, and it's starting to go. Look at this. We talk about this every day on the market recap show, 450 up to 650. Huge move in Nat Gas over the month. It's Adara, it's crypto, and maybe she'll have Nat Gas.
Yeah, crypto, we definitely know the main story with crypto here, getting a huge boost here off of that SEC spot Bitcoin ETF approval yesterday. All of these crypto names to the upside, as we'll get to in a minute. But first of all, Bitcoin touching that 49,000, then pulling back down, now getting close to that 48,000 level again. Really strong day for Bitcoin, steadily breaking out of that 41,000 to 43,000 range it had been in a couple weeks prior. So very good look for Bitcoin, and very good look for a lot of these other crypto currencies. Bitcoin here up 5% and a bit. Ethereum up almost 10%. Well into that 2,600 level, so definitely one to watch as well. Solana up 10%, Ripple up 9%, and Cardano up 18.5%, guys.
Like that Cardano news right there. Thank you, Adara. Not up as much as 22% as we were talking about that in the pre-market. I'm just going to edit this candle right here because we do not have that bottom of 146, 154.95, just so we can see this a little bit better. There we go. So here's 155 looking to break higher. So let's go. I'm waiting for that tick, 155.15. Let's take out that level. Then we can use 155 or something as our out if we're wrong back in, 155, 154.95, something like that. The reason why we're on Amazon, it's pretty simple, man. It's up. So if we're going to go long something, we want to go up names that are long, right? I don't know if there was any shade thrown, but we talked about gumption. The other day we took $13 on Nvidia. The day after that, we took $21 on Nvidia. Yesterday, I think we took $5 or $6 on Nvidia. Now today, we are now $6 to $5 in the money on this trade, but it's the other way around. I mean, today it's simple, same simple trade, 540. We waited for it to fail and then get back to the upside. Let's see if this name continues to work. What is working out like damn gangbusters right now. We're happy, man. We're happy as we go right now with Roblox as that takes out the top. There's Amazon. Amazon's busting as well. We got to get over this one. Neil, take the reins, man. I got to get out of this. We have a decent amount of shares here as Amazon is starting to go ham. Amazon.
Amazon to the upside. Everything just bounced really nicely. What was never red, at least it wasn't red for very long. I think it was about 3 seconds that Uber turned red.
All right.
Go long, strong stocks if you can. Avoid trying to catch crazy bottoms. If a stock can't hold on to the big support level, then you got to be careful about it. But I said 63 was going to be my target in there. We have a nice line drawn. I said that's resistance, and it was against the grain, so I'm going to take my profit and run. I'm just back into a firm, so trying to keep it as tight to the vest as possible. A firm is doing a bit of a dance right at this 42 level. This could easily creep VWAP. If it breaks VWAP, I need to wait until it gets up to 43. So we're short for the 42 play. If it doesn't want to hold it, then it's fine by me. Fisker, you guys already know the deal there. I know SoFi, we were just talking about it. It's not going to get to 8. I don't think it's getting to $8 anymore. So I may have to throw that one out. And AMD does not creep to VWAP. So if we get back underneath 16.9, AMD is still the same play that we're looking at before, which is a fade off of VWAP.
Yeah, we are fading out a little bit on Amazon here. Let's see what happens. We got out of literally half there. We got them all out near. It wasn't even that great, man. We'll see if it works. Not working yet. We just got a little bit out there, but we're gonna, okay, here we go. Look at the market. The market just failed at 16.9. So that's going to be a problem now initially. We made money, we're making money long here. There's no doubt about that. It's just not right now as the market trying to fade out. We did really good on Roblox there, man. I mean, we talked about trying to be patient for the 50 and that's exactly what hit. Too bad the market's trying to turn on us now. All right, Amazon's gonna come out breaking through 75. Looks like it might happen. It just came back up to 155 there and failed again. Look at this move. The market right now pulling back in off of 16.9. So here we go, man. Bye-bye. We'll be out of Amazon in just a couple seconds as there it goes downside. So again, that just failed right there. Let's see. Will the market bounce or not? I think that was worth it. We do want to get longer on Amazon at some point, but now it looks like we have to bottom pick. Oh my God, there's news with Amazon. Are you kidding me right now? This just popped in right now at 10:33. Bankrupt Diamond Sports. Something about streaming here with Amazon. So that sucks, but that's okay. Let's let this news, it's not okay because we were long it, but let's wait to see if that means anything to the stock. The market is the problem failing. It's not, that news probably has nothing to do with it, but let's wait to see what happens here with Amazon down near some of these levels. Probably worth a buy in here right now, but going long on this market, I just thought that we could have just kept on going and we knew we wanted to be long Amazon if that was the case.
I just hit enter on my sell in AMD. Like you've got to be, it's one of these types of days. I can't even, sometimes it gets frustrating. This is not the first time that's happened today. I just tried to short it at the 20 level and then missed it. I did get into a firm. I was able to at least add, when I didn't get the short there, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just add to the affirm, but then try to scalp it because it's not moving as much. I wanted to drop with the market, that didn't. So I took some out there, but guess what broke the dollar? Well, if you guessed Fisker, you'd be right. Fisker's on the New York. Fisker broke the dollar level, said we stop out underneath. Now remember, it's SSR at this point, it's down 10%. So when you get that kind of a move, I am usually looking initially long off of an SSR level. So it broke the dollar. I'm not thinking short yet. I need to see a little bit more weakness in that and some carry through. Otherwise, I'm looking for the push back above. If it shows me a bit above $1 and a higher low, then I'm going to look for that long in Fisker. But that's just it's a heck of a miss on AMD there. Maybe we get another pop that we can play off of. We're not that far away from 16.9 that we can't still play off that level, which to me puts Uber back into play. If we're going to immediately regain the 16.9 level, I got out of Uber on the off chance that we pull right back into our original entry. but I'm still looking for only longs in this stock. As long as it's green, I want to be looking for longs in Uber. So far, so good with this name. The next story would be holding 16.9, looking for longs above the 63 level, or waiting for patiently for our 62 half zone as well, because I don't think the longs are necessarily dead yet.
No, neither do I. I think patience is going to continue to be key right here. It's just so funny. Like our net is just like, it's like it goes and then it comes back, and then it goes and then it comes back. It's like, frustrating. We're still holding. The only short we have is Coinbase. And again, I don't want to drop this one. I don't want to. We got out there. Wish we would have saved that for down here. It's just bouncing around. Well, the smart thing to do is maybe just to get out here and then hit the short if we eventually do wind up breaking. It's just like if we break and it's not a real break, then the short is going to lose, because people like me are going to be like, okay, we're waiting for this short to break, and then we go short, and then that's where the buyers come in and squeeze you all the way back up into 150 again, kind of like what happened right there. I feel confident in holding this, so let's just try to do that. Hold out for higher move here on that name. Roblox is really working. We've sort of talked about that. Now getting back up to the upside. We tweeted that out. We really like those levels. We're pretty confident in that. Palantir still hovering. We like it. Nvidia still here as well. And then Amazon. We bought a little bit back at 80. So now we're 20 cents in the money. It's just too bad that dropped out there. I still like the name. One, we're trying to buy more if it comes back in right now. I wonder if the market, because we got that CPI number, you know, it's obvious to me anyways that the dramatic moves are snapping down. Like this was a nice little move there. This was okay, but we covered it up in 3 minutes and then stopped again, and now we're bouncing off the 50. Like it feels like we want to get a little low. So I'm starting to piece off some of these longs and then wait down here for Amazon. So I really like Amazon. I like it down here. I'm gonna try to wait for it. And there goes Coinbase right now. Finally. Oh well, it did see. Like it breaks 147. You know what it goes down to? 146 clean. It's $5. Can you believe we have $5 in the money both ways here? We're long Nvidia, we're short Coinbase. Let's just see if one wants to work better than the other. And I'm hoping that's Coinbase, because I feel like Coinbase has a lot of room to the downside. So let's see if that one continues to work. Nvidia, we kind of know is supported down here by 540, and we'll get out if we're going to be wrong on this for sure. We do want to buy some more down here at 540, watching out for a drop through this 38.90. Now that we've taken $3 or $2 and you know basically stared 5 in the face, we can lose 150. If it comes back in and we're wrong. So let's be patient. We know the names we want to buy. Let's just make sure we execute properly.
So a couple of things. One, I said I would, because it's SSR, I would wait out for 99s to be gone on Fisker and grab 98. I have 98 half, but it's going to round the other direction. This market does seem to want to hold on to that 16.9. So I'm going to stick with Uber because that's the long I want. If we do fail VWAP, just so you know, I'm still on AMD here for a VWAP failure. As I said, I missed it by that much, trying to grab that short when the futures failed that 16.9. But if we're back above the 63 level and above 16.9, I'm going long Uber. That's a pretty simple one for me there. And I want to talk a little bit about Tesla, because I don't want to be ignoring anything. I understand almost everybody in the chat is hollering about this name. So yes, Tesla making higher lows. It has been an absolute dumpster fire. The 200 period moving average sits at about 230 and a half, 231 zone. So it can make some room before I'd like that short out in front. If we hold the higher low and we're above 16.9, I think you have a scalpable trade into VWAP there. But let's get on over to Sector Watch. I know there's some healthcare names that are good, but let's see what else is going on that board with Adara.
Lots of weakness in healthcare for sure here, but one of the notable exceptions here is Eli Lilly, actually to the upside when a lot of these names are down, getting a price target increase from Morgan Stanley to $763. So not insignificant here. Eli Lilly very much to the upside. We do have some weakness going on in electronic technology, a group that was stronger for a lot of this week with the Consumer Electronics Show. A lot of these names kind of a bit weaker here or in the red. Apple very much in the red as well. Bit more mixed in technology services. These names are kind of going from green to gray a little bit here, but Netflix very strong with strong numbers for its ad tier subscribers. So that is of note. Finance weaker ahead of bank earnings tomorrow, and Tesla very much weak, leading consumer durables, to the downside after news, or Bloomberg, reporting that there will be some pay increases for factory workers amidst UAW concerns. So keep an eye on Tesla there, guys.
Yeah, Tesla obviously is going to be a concern to many, but I still think if we can hold 69, you've got some opportunities for some longs. I just missed a reload. I'm not going to get Uber because we're back underneath 16.9, so I just want to get that one out of the way, but I do want to add to a firm when we get that opportunity, so I just threw a couple offers out there. You're back above $1 on Fisker, so it's SSR. I'm playing off of the dollar level in both directions, looking for a 5 to 10 cent move on Fisker in either way. Want to add to a firm here. AMD didn't give it to me. I wanted a pop that got us closer to VWAP, and we're still doing that dance. When we're talking about the dance, and the reason I'm only in a firm that's going to follow the markets in a loose sense, is we're just dancing around the 16.9 level. So you want to be definitive about the prices that you get. So I'm not willing to waver. I want shorts close to 42 on a firm. I want VWAP on AMD, because you could always break out nines, get 10, 15 handles up, and it's not over for the shorts. So you got to have a good enough price that you're not necessarily getting wicked in and out. And it does mean you might have to miss the trade. Be willing to miss the trade to make the trade a few times. That's the way it goes. Intel was the other name we like short. I'm starting to open up to the idea that I can get something in the 30s here. I keep thinking more like 47.40 because that's where we're taking early shorts out. That doesn't matter now. Now it's very clearly holding down here. So we've been out of a firm for at least a half an hour now, and I'm thinking about where do I want to get back in? Do I have to wait for VWAP? The market's telling me I shouldn't be because you're just not going to get in if it goes to the downside. So we're in that affirm trade. Thankfully, we got out of Uber. Going to fire an order out here before I move on to Uber. This is still an name I want to be favoring longs. It was a right call to get out of it, but now we have to think about holding off until I see some kind of a bounce at that previous support level. If it doesn't bounce where I like it, I don't have to take it. I don't want to fight those stocks if I don't have to. Looks like we're not going to get that AMD after all. Firm's rolling back into the downside. That should be okay, at least temporarily. And then shout out to everybody that's if you're in crypto land, Mara is now $24, 5%. That's we haven't shown you guys Bitcoin. Mara 5% to the downside. Bitcoin, let me just zoom out so you can see. Bitcoin retaking 47,000 the wrong way. Well, depending on your.
We are still, we're still holding this coin here as it just continues to go down, man. We're now 6 in. Let's see where we go. I'm not getting out of Coinbase. So if you're looking for me to tell you that I am not. I'm going to hold that one. I've been, probably incorrectly, let's just call it like it is, talking about, first of all, there's Amazon. It's just so frustrating because we had shares on this name. It's too bad, but whatever. It's still going to the upside where we'll be happy with that one. You know which name though you can't be super happy with right now is Nvidia. It's not really, and I heard you just talking about AMD. I haven't looked at it, so I'm glad you're looking at it today a little bit, but this name is weak. This is the first day really in the last week, I guess. I don't know. I mean, this is Nvidia, where Nvidia's really, sure, we're still outperforming the market. I mean, you can see right here, the NASDAQ's down 0.27, the ES is down 0.37. But as you can see right here with the NASDAQ, it's not in that much trouble right now, but Nvidia is. Nvidia, they had the same move. I mean, the chart almost looks identical. The NASDAQ bumped up to VWAP, so did these guys. Now it's fading out, but it feels like this is coming in a lot harder than the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is still above the 50-period moving average. Nvidia is not right now, so definitely something to watch out for here, as this name is weaker than we thought. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna now wait for this to pull back. We do have a bid coming through at 540. We are watching out for 538 to lose. If it loses 538, we'll be gone, and we will take the L on that one. But I think that's well worth the risk, as Coinbase right now, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 now in the money on Coinbase. Just wish we would have held it all, Neil. But that was tough, man. I didn't expect Bitcoin to be back down to 47,000 right now. But well, you know what?
It is.
I shouldn't say we didn't expect it. We actually did expect it.
We were calling it just didn't happen when.
It's like volatility.
It didn't happen when I was expecting it. I didn't think we'd make that big of a rally to the upside. You can call it a sell the news event, but I mean, timing, in a general sense, it's a sell the news event, but that's just not the way that it worked out at the open. Like, it actually ran to the upside first. I'm just cleaning up some orders here. We got 15 minutes to go before we head to the midday. Just a reminder to everybody, Sharif is back in the building. Thank you, Obi, for filling in. But Sharif is back.
Bang.
To get your learn on, what you have been all week. I'll still pop in at noon, have some thoughts for you guys. They're not going to spoil it, but we got another lesson that we're going to pack on to what you're already going to learn in the midday.
Doesn't it have a segment name? It's called Thoughts with Neil or something? Or what is that called?
Well, that's what we're giving it for now. Actually, I'm pretty sure Ramin called it that.
I don't know what it was.
I hadn't given it a name yet because I still want to settle on something right. I don't know if it was Ramin or Fabian that made it. Thoughts with Neil. You guys tell me if you like it. Lesson of the day could be, I still think it's a work in progress.
I like the lesson of the day.
We'll come up with something. We settle on something cool.
People were asking about that second stream. So lunch money is going to go on that stream.
Yeah,
but that's not ready yet.
Okay, that's not ready yet. Although it is, I think it's really close. It's very, very close. It could be any day now.
Everyone join Campus.
It could be any day now. One more thing for you. Lucid is at the low of the day. If you got the short, congratulations. I think this one has been a short forever. Forever. But I didn't catch it. Like yesterday, it was easy to get. Today, I never got into this one. So if I was in it and if anybody did take the trade, generally speaking, when it consolidates, it makes the drop and then it gives you a consolidation about this time. You're thinking small amounts from here. Like, I don't know if we can get to $3. I think like 305, 310, maybe, instead of thinking it goes all the way to $3. But I did miss that short. We're into a firm again.
Let's go Roblox.
We're going to go for the low of the day because obviously if the stock wants to continue to
number
be
one,
then let's see if it can't get back into the low of the day. That's what it's all about, guys. Where else are we going here? We talked about Tesla, but that was more of 16.9 held. I thought Tesla could go. Well, 16.9 hasn't held yet. So let's back off from those longs for now.
Here we go, man. We tweeted this position out with, we said, at Trader Tammy. Here we go. She was on the show yesterday. It's a Fibonacci princess. And I'm like, here we go, let's go. On Roblox, as Roblox continues to rip upside. And I was just saying to Sharif as you were talking there that actually Roblox is now my number one stock because, oops, that's still Coinbase. Although Coinbase is right now $7 in the money. This will be my number one stock. But this is unrealized. And as we say, you could have chickens, but do not count your chickens before they hatch. Yeah, I guess that's right. Exactly they may have eggs, but they may not have chickens inside of them. That's what it is. Okay. But if you are looking to say, hey, how did this guy actually get employed? Well, maybe you can get employed as well. Go to campus.daytradetheworld.com. And join it, man. This is only available, unfortunately, to residents of Canada, but I feel like there's only a couple spaces left. You have to apply by February 5th. And if you just hit apply now, just pretend you don't know it's from Canada and just apply anyways. The more interest they get from other countries and whatnot, the more they'll be able to look it up. Unfortunately, I don't think USA is anywhere close, but if you are across Europe and so on and so forth, South America, anywhere else in the world, doesn't matter, anywhere in Asia, anyways, outside of the USA, you try to apply, okay? Anyways, markets, you get, again, basically, not one-on-one, but you get group information sessions happening, ask great questions, learn about the platform. We have many online lessons on how to set up stop orders and use the different, as my man Obi says, gates that we have. These are the only gates that I want right now for the market in Coinbase, is going into the gates of hell right now. But your trading goals will be met in simulation. And then once you prove your worth, the ultimate is going into this bad boy right here, LIV to the E. You want to go live. So it's campus.daytradetheworld.com. Go visit it, or you can hit, it's not hashtag, what are they? It's exclamation mark campus, I believe, or just ask Mr. Bears and Bulls in the chat.
Before we go to Adara, it is, if you just hit exclamation mark campus, you will get that info in the chat. Let's go to Adara at the desk. For Money Talk.
PXY continuing to chop and churn around this 102.10 to about 102.50 range here, but definitely to the upside today within that range after a little bit of a higher expected CPI print. For month over month, we got 0.3 versus 0.2 expected, so 0.1% higher there. For the CPI year over year, this is where we had the bigger jump, 3.4% versus 3.2% expected. So this is a 0.2% jump. We did see the USD jumping to the high side off of that We do also have PPI coming in tomorrow, so stay tuned for that with regards to how the USD will move. Also, bank earnings coming tomorrow morning as well, so this could potentially play a role here. Lots of stuff to keep an eye on heading into the end of the week here, guys, with regards to the USD.
Thank you very much there, Adair. Always keeping an eye on everything that we're not necessarily looking at when you're trading the equities, because you got to focus on the things that you're trading, but you do want to keep that bigger picture in mind. We're back underneath 16.9. I did jump into this Intel trade. It went like 5 cents in the money. Doesn't seem like it wants this bottom the same way some of the other names are, so I'm going to do some scalp trading on that one. I did get a bid on a firm as that continues to work to the downside, so we just essentially went back to the well on the two names that worked the best, which I think makes sense to do at this time of day. So they both came back in. Affirm's the one that headed lower. Unfortunately, that didn't happen over there on Intel just yet, but it could still happen. Uber, which is the third name that we've been pretty much involved with heavily, doesn't quite get back down to that 62.4, which can be a good thing. Remember, sometimes it's good if you make a higher low. You don't get the same price that you liked before, but it does mean a little bit of relative strength if it can make that higher low. So if we can break back above, I still favor longs on Uber. Don't really want to be jumping into the short on that stock just yet. Only going to be going one way for now on Uber. AMD is the other name I am looking at, and it's at the low of the day. So there isn't much of a trade here for me because that's not a stock that I like to long in. If you were favoring long, I suppose this is where you'd go. But I'm only really looking for shorts in this particular name. So hard pass on AMD, shorting the bottoms. Oh yeah, Rivian, never got it. Obviously, I didn't get the Rivian short. It continues to hold the low, shorts, down 3.5%. This doesn't even want to sniff VWAP or anywhere close to it. It's just hanging out off the lows, which makes it a tricky entry point for me.
Yeah, shoot. Right now the market is falling down. I said I was not going to buy this level, and I was going to buy 540, but we literally just bounced off of 540.20. I mean, it's crazy because we were down there at 540.16. You know, bounces. So I was like, you know what, this time let's just take it a little bit earlier. So we take it right now at 541. So we just got this now officially is a reload. So we're reloaded now on Nvidia. I'll take this out again if we can get it, man. It's right where the 50 period is. It's 543 and change. So let's put that out right now, 543.20. Like I said, Nvidia seems a little weaker than the rest. So if we are able to get a little bit of a bounce back, let's do that. We literally just bought it, right? Like we just went long right there at 541 again, like 541. So my price has gotten a little bit better. With that 70 cents in the money, take it if you want to. I'm going to try to play for a move back to the upside. We did also get more Amazon down here, and that fill was at 66s. So kind of where we are right now again. Just because we're about to leave you, I'll give you some trading ideas that I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at Amazon dip buying into 154. I really, really like that play. I think that's going to be a good one. I'm looking to hold Coinbase as long as I can. And honestly, I may not get out of this one. It doesn't almost matter where it goes. The other trade that I was looking at right here, that is breaking a little bit lower. So Neil and I may be looking for some short ideas. What about Meta? Meta right now, sorry about this, guys. Let me just edit this quickly. Meta is breaking through the low of the day right now. Oh, someone said there in the chat, if they say they love Canada, can they apply? Yes, you can. Yes, that is a good thing to do. You should definitely say that, and that will probably get you in. All right, so there it is right now. A weak name to look at, Meta. We saw Meta go absolutely metabolic yesterday to the upside, and then all of a sudden stop up there at 370. So let's see if that 370 is going to be a level to look out for as well. So those are just some trades I'm looking for. Willing to let the market fall into this bottom of 16.8. That's where I think we can lay our head with Amazon. Waiting to buy more down there at 154 flat.
Yes,
so
sir.
that's the trade.
Only 5 minutes to go to get to the midday. We're not going to go anywhere. You know the stream just stays here pretty much all day long until right around 4:30. I don't want to say exactly 4:30 because you know how the aftermarket show goes and recap. You kind of end it when you want to end it, right?
Although unfortunately today is podcast
day. Today's the podcast. That's right. Instead of filming Friday, the podcast is being filmed today. The market recap tomorrow. I'll fill in for Sean. The market recap tomorrow. I wanted to get to what before there was someone was just saying Bitcoin might make a bit of a bottom here. and the ETFs have been on sale. We haven't really shown these much, and they started trading. IBIT, the BlackRock, is the one that I'm going to show off because it's got the best liquidity. If I was to trade one of these, no question, this is the one I would trade because it's got the best liquidity. It did just make a wick bottom and then holding this 27 level, and it's much better liquidity than before. That said, Bitcoin is 46.8 or 47,000, whatever the heck it is at right now, but pricing this at 27, the spread just jumped to 7 cents. It's usually 3 cents. It is very spready. That's something that when you think about the pricing of it, it would make a heck of a lot more sense if it had a 1 cent spread, if not less than that. So you're getting a ton of percentage slippage on this thing if you're trading it. Just understand that. They are a little bit dangerous to trade. At least in my opinion, that's the case. The market is making an attempted bounce. I'm just going on over, we only have a few minutes to go. Like, I'm looking for the reload here in Uber. I'm gonna wet the beak at the same price we did earlier. And then the last time we let it bounce and then added to it on the bounce. So I'm gonna go with the same plan of action here on Uber, which I'm favoring the long side of at least for now. So Uber looking good. It's still up on the day, but it's hanging on by a thread like the rest of the market. Would love to get Rivian, but I'm not going to. Vanny, I know we haven't looked at a lot of those small cap names for everybody. There's a heck of a lot moving today, but some of these are looking pretty good. That Lays, is that what we're calling this one, L-E-A-S? I'm calling it Lays. I don't know how you pronounce that, so if it's
Lays,
not that,
yeah.
then yeah, I'm calling it.
I go with that.
Right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think this is a delicious looking trade, except I'm not chasing it at this time of day. But if you got it, I just went to the daily chart, didn't see anything standing in its way after breaking 240, maybe 3/4, something like that. The bigger level would be $5 when you zoom it out on Lays, and that's just the last consolidation was at 5. So it's already broken one level. I'm surprised it hasn't halted yet, but I'd suspect it has a chance to do so at some point.
All right, we just reloaded Nvidia, and I told you this was the official reload. So there it is right there, bang, bang, boom, for $1.70 again. Sometimes it's easy, we say that, but it does take, you know, something to be able to put on big shares against a stock that is falling down. So I'm not trading with heavy shares here, but I told you that we're in scout mode right now. I'm getting less and less confident about this move, but like I just tweeted out, if you're following me, great. I'll just show you. It's at Trader TV, Sean. We're at 44,000 followers. Thank you so much for that. The sticky note is here every single day as well. But there it is right there, and I even talk about it. Okay, reloaded here with Nvidia on our 540 level, right? We talked about that. Looking to scalp a couple bucks, so we just did that, and then hold some for the dream. Right? So we're trying to do that right now. Let's see if it continues to work. Follow all of us, man, for all the great content, the best content on Twitter. We'll also be tweeting some stuff out after this as well, and more to come. We'll try to update you guys, and that's really what that second stream is about. We'll be able to see our fills and maybe some talk. We'll figure that all out as it happens there during the midday as well. But yeah, what are you guys talking about today? Okay, continuation on level 2 talk, so that's obviously awesome. As you know, if you can't trade level 1 or level 3, just trade level 2. So that's what we'll do there today. And yeah, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So you know, keep supporting this channel. Thank you so much, Gregory. We're here every damn day. And Neil just got back into Fisker, I see on the chat.
Yeah, the dollar level held its SSR. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not going to load back into what I had. Like, generally speaking, I take 4 times as much as I have right now, but I haven't seen an indication of enough strength. Plus, too, this market, like I said, it's a little bit heavy, so you're going against the grain on some of these names. I'm not adding to Uber, so we have half what we did last time, unless I see about, like, I want to see strength first, and then I want to participate in said strength. So we're not at that point just yet. If it does bounce, which it looks like it wants to, then I think we get an opportunity to add to this name. It's the only, I'm in a, like I said, Fisker, it's a dollar trade. I'm in a buyout, and then Uber has been the long for me. The market trying to make a higher low, but it has been a bear day. We got that hot number on CPI, and the rest has been history. The Bitcoin has fallen off a little bit, the ETFs at the lows as well. But it's past 11 o'clock. It's time to get on to the professor and Adara. Learn about that level 2, which is your gateway to the markets, at least visually.